Okay. So,
Oh, Chemo, is it so? I mean, couldn't that have fucking waited? That is very rude.
again, your question is based on the assumptions and stuff, and
No, there's no assumption. I can show you the picture. Do you want to see the picture?
no, again, it's not necessary.
I know you've seen the picture. I know you've seen it. He's got a website. It's just a basic little website, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So why is that something you don't do? Why don't you buy this equipment? And he even lists the equipment that he's got. Thierry Legault. It's I mean it's a bit like Reynolds, but Thierry Legault.
Anyway.
No, anyway, hold on, cunt. Right, Thierry Legault, French amateur astronomer, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a wiki page. That's interesting. Right, so his website is astrophoto.fr. Right, and then why is my phone so slow today?
So we got some classic comments here. Classic.
Oh,
Right.
fuck up.
Try a different browser, mate.
Classic. Okay. So, Conspiracy Cats is here, and he tried to corner the key. Okay. And by asking me a couple of questions, ESC level or something to that effect.
Now you got in Cats to try and get him to.
And as I outlined to Conspiracy Cats yesterday, as he asked those questions, those questions.
I like
What?
But fuck, you're being extremely rude.
Why?
Like, so here's the equipment that Legault's got. I need to restart my phone, man. Fuck me. Yeah, you can go and jack off.
Yeah, but we're not going to see this in real time, so it's just someone's impression, right? So anyway, where were we? Yeah, so obviously Kat tried to corner Chemo with a couple of questions. And as I said to Conspiracy Cats yesterday, well, those questions are easy peasy lemon squeezy, but those questions are like ancient. You know, you look at those questions, and obviously you're going to remember. What I should have pointed out is that obviously Cats will remember those because he's asking them frequently, right? So he's talking about them. But anyone who wants to answer is going to be like, well, hold on a second, slow it down. So, we've got some fantastic replies in that video. Get it up. It says, to be fair, I achieved a B in A-level physics around 40 years ago, and I would have had trouble answering those questions. Ball earther. Bang. So, we've also got... let's another one. There's... those three questions made me realise how much I've forgotten over the many years since I took high school. Bang. Another ball earther who could not answer the question in your little 10 seconds that you try. This is my favourite one. Well, I studied physics about 20 years ago, and I have no clue how to answer question 2. Question 1 was unsure and guessed the partial pressure. And question 3 is simple if you remembered the ideal gas law, things like that. So, people in physics, Cats, on your side, ball earthers, have no idea what you were talking about, as I outlined. These questions are not relevant for the adults who are going to study those things over 20 years. And there's a lot more.
Kimo, we'll talk about that later, but right now you were having a conversation with Chris that was quite interesting, and you just dumped him.
Oh, we can get back to that. It's only about the ISS.
Yeah,
it's only about the ISS. We'll get back to that. Don't worry, we'll get back to that. It's only about the ISS that doesn't exist. Now,
no,
this
is Cats is right, man.
This is I love this one as well. He says, "I'm 76."
You're being extremely rude, Chemo.
We'll get back to that. It's not that big of a deal. Cats may have to go soon. Guy says 76,
no,
and
I'll be here. I'm not talking to you, Chemo, until you finish your conversation with Chris.
You don't have to reply.
I'm not responding to you until you finish your conversation with Chris.
Yeah, but again, we are going to finish with Chris. I'm just pointing out to you now that there's a guy here, 76, and he struggled to answer those questions. Okay.
Right, I'm putting my TV on mute. I'll be back in 10 minutes. I'm not. If he wants to watch it, he can watch it.
It's obviously having his
Well, I'll
breakfast.
finish
or
now
whatever,
anyway.
too,
So
Chemo,
carry on, Chris. What
some
was your
sort.
point?
Message. Oh, yeah, Chemo. I mean, fuck's sake. I've asked you. So I put the thing in the, and I put the it's the link in the chat box, right? So why don't you purchase that equipment and do this yourself?
Because it's not my claim, Chris. We already know that ISS.
What do you mean it's no? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about not just the ISS, but satellites too. Why don't you buy this equipment and attempt to capture it yourself?
Because satellites are either they're not man-made, so they're just celestial bodies going through the sky. No big deal. We've never launched a satellite that has orbited Earth that we can show, demonstrate.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Let's say all that's true. Why don't you purchase this equipment and attempt to capture it yourself? And then when you don't, because it doesn't exist according to you, you can bring that back and go, look, guys, I tried to capture this stuff. Here's my method. Here's my equipment. Here's even a video of me doing it.
No, I mean,
but
look, even if we were to capture some kind of light in the sky,
No, fuck that. No, Chemo, let's just assume for the sake of argument that you don't get anything at all. You just get a blank fucking, it's just completely black. It's nothing. You don't get anything, right? And you show the method, right? Because these satellites are tracked precisely. Like you can get apps for your fucking phone. There's one called Satellite AR, right? AR stands for Augmented Reality. It uses your camera, and when you point it into the sky, it overlays over the camera, over the screen, sorry, where the satellites are, precisely where they are, where they've been, and where they're going. So you know exactly where they are, right? And you know exactly where to. Even if you weren't familiar with all the fucking the telescope nomenclature, like rate ascension, declination, and all that shit. I'm not familiar with it. You can just fucking use that to point your camera, point your telescope at. And capture it. But I mean, you probably need to get a little more precise than that, I suspect, in order to capture these things. But you could learn all that because you're a smart boy, right, Chemo? So once you do all that and you've got all the equipment and you lay out your method and you don't get anything, then that'd prove that they don't exist, no?
Well, it just sounds like a hobby that I'm not.
No, it's not. It's not a hobby at all. This is a way of you to prove whether or not satellites are actually in the sky.
No, but I've just said if there are such things in the sky, they're not man-made.
Right, but then you would be able to capture them and show them, right? I mean, look, Chemo, seriously, are you?
Think about it, right? The moon.
Tell me.
Think about it. Because we know where the moon is going to be. If you wanted to make a tracker, like a handheld tracker, to track the moon where it's going to be, you'd say, "Look, this is a satellite, and I'm tracking it," just because we already know the path of the moon, right?
No. It's not a fair comparison.
So if there's another non-man-made satellite that's just small, but it's.
I'll show you why that's not a fair comparison.
No, but we just know the path of the other celestial body. So all you have to do is build an app that tracks.
Here. This is why. Fuck! Why can't I download that, man? Yeah, there we go. This is why it's not a fair comparison. Because if you are telling me that there are things in the sky that aren't man-made, that look like this, that are naturally occurring, fuck off, Chemo.
Yeah, not man-made satellite.
Are you telling me that's not man-made?
But that is that's not in space. That's in the atmosphere.
It's in the what?
In the atmosphere, and that's just an aeroplane. That is.
That's fuck up, Chemo. Did that look like a fucking airplane to you?
Oh, with kitted out, yes.
Kitted out with what?
Panels and stuff.
Panels and stuff.
Look at the two
what
wings.
Kind of stuff is it?
Look at the middle of it. So you see the two wings, the two long, the span, and then the nose at the front.
Yeah, man.
Just a U-2 bomber, or a B-2, or something.
A U-2 bomber.
or B2, one of those types.
Is that? Yeah, I know you're a U2 spy plane. You're telling me that's a U2 fucking spy plane.
Just an extended, kitted out one.
Right, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's see what a U2 actually looks like. Right, hold on. What's the command? Is that a fucking? It's a dollar sign, right? Google U2.
Not a big deal. It's just some kind of aircraft in the
What
atmosphere.
kind?
I don't know specifically. I don't have the spec. What kind?
Why is that not working? As a dollar, the command for the bot's a dollar sign, right?
Chris, the bot's busted right now.
Is it, man? Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm on my phone and fuck.
Just a-
Anyway, U2 looks nothing like that.
Anyway, we don't know exactly what it is.
Right, okay, hold on, Chemo. Right, let's just assume that it is a fucking U2 spy plane, right? How fast is it going?
No.
No, it's not unknown. It's something you can actually work out. I mean, like, you can literally work that shit out.
No, the only way you could accept it is like a laser radar. So once it goes past the laser radar, whatever, you could check the speed.
Why don't you do it then?
Not my claim.
No, as your claim, you're claiming that it's a plane.
I'm not claiming that it's going at any speed.
Well, it would have to. It could only go at a certain speed
That's
because
your claim.
by
That's
virtue of
your
it.
claim.
No, by virtue of it being an aircraft, it could only go a certain speed. But in order for it to orbit the air, it would have to also go a certain speed for it to make its next orbit, right?
Or cut the cameras and use multiple planes.
No, not cut the cameras. No, not cut the camera. Look, so I can see the ISS pass overhead where I am fairly regularly, right? Now, in the next orbit, it's possible I'll see it again, right? Maybe not for as long, maybe not as high in the sky, but there's a possibility I could see it again. And in order for it to make it round again, it would have to be going a certain speed.
Right. But we don't know what that speed is, do we? No one's measured
But
it.
you could work it out though, couldn't you?
Chemo, you know very well that I know what the fucking speed is. ISS is going about 7 kilometers per second.
Who's been measuring
He
that?
knows
Who
that.
measures that?
He knows that.
The U2 goes 223 meters per second, or 0.2 kilometers per second.
Well, again, who's measuring the ISS's speed?
Chemo, I posted videos. Don't do this, okay? I posted videos last night
Chemo.
showing people who measure the ISS velocity.
Yeah, it has been done. It's been done. It's
Yeah, and
doable.
you were
It's not-
arguing about whether you should be here, there, distant, all these things. So,
Well, why don't you do it then?
because we don't have the right lasers, do we?
What are the right lasers?
We need a laser long enough to go past ISS, so when it goes through the laser...
Well,
you can
no, wait a
detect it.
minute. Wait a minute. How do you know how high it is in the sky?
Don't.
Right, so how do you know which laser you need? Or how high the laser has to go, or whatever the
Chris,
fuck
don't
you're
chase it. You
talking
don't need a
about?
laser, you just need a camera.
I
You
know
need a
that,
laser.
I know
No, you don't
that.
need a camera. A camera's not going to be accurate. You need a laser.
I'm just getting him to fucking dig his own hole deeper.
No, say you can fire lasers to the moon, yes?
Yeah.
So the ISS is not higher than the moon, is it?
No, but the
once
ISS
it goes
won't
past,
have,
once you fire a laser
the-
at the moon, and then it goes past
Right.
the laser, it's going to detect it.
But the fucking moon has a specific device on it called a retroreflector.
Yeah, so
that
we should
was
get
put
two
there
beams.
but it has a retroreflector on there, and what comes back is, I think it's not much, right? It's just a little, like, I don't know how many.
No, we
photons,
get the
but-
reflected beam back off that reflector, so we have now
Right.
two beams of.
No, not beams, just some fucking light from the laser makes it back.
Yeah, we're getting a return.
There's no beam. Like, by the time it fucking reaches the moon, it's dispersed so fucking
Yeah,
wildly
but we're getting a
that
return.
it's
yeah?
not. Yeah, getting a return. That's
So-
right. There's no. So where's the?
So all you got to
retroreflector
do
on the
is
fucking-
time it so
Right,
when
right,
the
where's the
ISS.
retroreflector on
All
the
you got to do
fucking-
is
on-
time
on
it when the
your- on
ISS
your
goes
YouTube?
past the moon, and then once it goes past the moon, it's going to go past the lasers.
What? That's ridiculous. Where's the retroreflector on this ISS/U2?
On the moon, dude.
Why would that help?
It doesn't have to touch the reflectors. It's going to hit the moon, yeah?
And then you would get the distance to the moon.
No, then you would get the ISS when it goes past the lasers a reading.
Why would you get a reading?
Why?
Like I said, what do you mean? What do I mean? What do you mean? Why? How would you get a fucking return from a U2?
It would tell you how fast it's gone past that laser.
How, Chemo? Why would the light from the laser bounce back off the U2
Why would it bounce back?
into your detectors? What fucking Chemo?
Don't you know
Do you
how
have,
a
do you
speed?
have trouble understanding English?
Do you understand how a speed gun works?
Do you have trouble understanding English, Chemo? Yes, and it doesn't use fucking. It's not looking at something as far away as a U2. Where are you going to get the reflectors from for this?
So how does a speed camera work? With the holding the laser thing.
It uses the speed distance time thing.
When a car goes past it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they fire out a laser.
Right. And the retroreflector,
and it even
I can't
tells them
remember
how
what they call
fast it's going.
Right, but the lunar ranging experiment, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, but it tells them how fast.
It specifically relies on the
up on the
retroreflector.
machine how fast they're going.
Chemo. The lunar ranging experiment specifically relies on a retroreflector placed on the moon in order for it to get a return.
No, I'm talking about when the police hold their gun out, the police radar gun.
From the laser. If you're going to fire that on a U2, the light's just going to get dispersed everywhere. You're not going to get a return.
Not going to work then. All right, how else are you going to do it?
I don't know. This is your fucking experiment. You're the one that's supposed to do it.
Yeah, but we're looking at the flaws, and there's obviously flaws. There's flaws.
What?
We can't use it. You're saying the light's going to go everywhere. We can't measure the ISS.
Well, but this was your idea, Chemo. It wasn't mine.
It was, and we've just talked about it.
Right,
the
we'll
idea.
just talk, right, so now, right, okay, so we're going to scrap that. So what are you going to do in order to make this a reality?
We're going to have to get on it somehow.
Right, somehow, how?
In a rocket. Need a rocket.
You need a rocket. You are a fucking rocket.
Well, yes. Yes. Oh, no.
You are a rocket.
Yeah.
Right,
No.
Chemo, I'll let you go now.
Thank you, Chris. So, cats. Back to cats now. Because, your tactic cats will work on some of the old flatties. Yeah, it's understandable. But, I'm coming from the practicality side. So, any questions, equations, are just going to be shut down rather quickly. Because I understand it's just for, like, an exam. People in the comments were saying this had nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. People were saying, well, I wouldn't remember this. People were saying, what's the point of these questions? Not questions that... People were saying I would have to write them down as well. I saw in the defense of Chemo, I would have to write down these questions. So, everything I was saying to you at that time was true and factual, but you refused to acknowledge that because obviously your quest was to try and put shade on flat earthers, flat Earth. Then, I could see this coming. This is an obvious tactic. So, the idea is that the people in your message box are letting you know that's not the way to you did it with Brummy, did it with Nathan. I think the idea is to ask all children questions, adults, which, as you've heard, physicists are not even going to remember those questions, as a way of saying, look, you don't know anything, so therefore you cannot teach. And that's not what we're trying to do. We're asking them to ask their teacher, provide evidence of the globe, like we would ask you. We would focus on, ask them about gas pressure without a container, and then get you, yourself, to say, well, look in the books. So, the angle is completely wrong. Questioning like adults or children, not going to do anything.
Monologue, I could have a quick question for you.
Yeah, go for it. Is it a GCSE question? I have to write it down.
No, it's not. It's something that you said earlier. You said that we can radar range the moon, right?
I don't know. We found out that we couldn't because the light spreads.
Okay, so you're asking for measurements of the speed of ISS, but you don't accept the measurements. then?
Well, they use the camera, don't they? Their camera.
Yeah, so why would you ask for laser measurements when you don't accept those?
No, laser. I mean, my idea was that it goes past the laser, and then you can get a reading of how fast it's. That's just how I thought it
that's
worked.
not how-
I thought like when the
You know
police
that-
hold out that speed gun, goes past.
You know that the police can't get the speed of a car from the side on. It has to come towards the cop or go away. You do know that, right?
No, it goes past it, doesn't it?
No. It has to be moving towards it or away from the radar.
So it would go past the radar gun, yeah?
Yeah, if you go past the radar, it'll just give you the same distance to it. It's going around you. Doesn't measure speed then.
Right. Well, who knows? That's the idea. Nobody knows. Nobody knows anything. These just have what.
That's you don't know anything. Yeah, we know that.
Possibly, yeah. That's why I ask questions. Always trying to learn. And like I say, just because you're an
You
expert,
don't try to learn. You've asked the same questions for years and you never learn. So stop lying again.
I'm not trying to learn a religion. You already have a very strong religion. Peter. We don't need another religion. What we need is scientific evidence of gas, pressure,
Well,
without
I
the
think you got a good point there, more man, because it all works on the same
contain
principle.
evidence that
You know,
the
we're
Earth is
using radar,
actually
we're using-
curving.
I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of a sentence again.
And
Someone
somebody
talking.
talking?
I
Yes.
know, every time I start talking, he starts talking over me. I don't know.
No, I was
And
explaining
it's
something and then you
either
started
him or the
talking.
No, he was already talking when you started talking, Chemo.
Oh,
So what
yeah.
was it, Jess?
Go on.
No, I'm just going to say all these things work off the same principle, whether you're using radar, whether you're using sound, whether you're using light. You know,
Yep.
time delay reflectrometry is a standardized thing, and it's reliable, and we use it every day. And
Yep.
that's how we know the distance to the moon to an extreme level of accuracy.
Yes.
Anyway, the point is conspiracy cats tried to order Chemo. A little bit of questions. But care packages came in and they expressed these questions they wouldn't even know. All earthers, physicists, would have no idea what he's talking. And I explained this to him yesterday. Look, give me a...
Did you talk to
Brilliant.
all the physicists or just one?
There were no physicists in that comment section. He's making it up. Find one physicist, Chemo, in the comment section around Ranch's video who says, I am a physicist and I couldn't answer these questions, or are you lying?
Alright, let me get it. Let me
Pop off now and find that one physicist for me, will you?
Alright. Well, they said they're in physics. Maybe I said it the wrong way. I'll get it for you now.
What does that mean? They said they were
Oh no, she
physics.
said she studied physics.
Okay,
She studied physics. She studied physics.
So she's not a physicist. She's doing
Yeah, maybe, yeah, I just extended. Well, she said she studies physics and she has no clue how to answer questions. That's what I was.
So we'll open up with that. You've said something dishonest already. You claim somebody was a physicist, and what you mean is they did a bit of physics at
Physics,
school.
yes. I mean, I read
So
it
they've done a bit
quick.
like everybody.
Well, I was going through the questions quickly. Remember, you were like, don't talk. So I'm just reading through them quickly, and I got it wrong. I saw the word physics, and I just put in the word physicist. Not a big deal. And all it is you got some very good...
So yeah, you just changed it to mean something completely and utterly
I think
different.
PVK is
Because there's no difference at all, is it?
No.
It's saying something
So again, we've got another one who says, again, I'm just reading, they're putting the word physics. They're saying, those three questions made me realize how much I've forgotten over the many years since I took high school physics. So, I'm not saying they're physicists, but they've taken physics, they're globe earthers, and they have no idea about those questions. The people who have taken physics are like, well, I have no idea.
So none of them are physicists. Can we just, we both agree that none of those
not
people
physicists,
are
not
physicists.
physicists.
Because you said you were talking about physicists
No,
before.
yeah.
We both agree.
Yeah.
Right, we both agree that even though you said before that some of them are physicists, we both agree that none of them are physicists.
No.
Right, next point then. We're just talking about people here who've been to school and forgotten stuff they did at school, which is fine. I've forgotten loads of stuff I did at school in different subjects. The difference between them and you is that they are not claiming that the people currently teaching physics are lying to the children. To be able to make the claim that they're lying to the children, they need to actually understand what the teachers are saying. You claim teachers are lying to the kids, but you haven't got a clue what the teachers are saying. That's why yesterday was extremely important. That's why it was really, really important to show everybody that you haven't got the level of education in physics that a 14-year-old child is currently receiving, Chemo. That was the point.
No, you don't need just to get them to ask their teachers about evidence. You don't need any of that.
You do need it if you're going to tell people that the teachers are lying to them, which you do, and you have said over and over and over again. So stop trying to divert the argument somewhere else. You are telling people that the teachers are lying to the kids.
Yes.
You should not be saying that if you don't understand what the teachers are teaching.
Teachers are telling students that you can have gas pressure without a container. That's a lie. There's no truth in that. But they're being taught that. That's the point.
You have no idea what's being taught in the classroom, Chemo. You have no idea. You have absolutely no idea what's being taught in the classroom. Let's do some more simple questions here. Which exam boards have you studied to get your knowledge of the curriculum? We're both in the UK. Which exam board have you studied?
Someone says in the comments.
I know that.
Someone says in the
Which
comments.
exam board have you studied?
Someone says in the comments here. These are
Which
not.
exam board have you studied?
These are not GCS level.
Exam board
They
have
are
you
A
studied?
level.
Which exam board? have you
Nobody
studied?
does derivatives for GCSEs.
Chemo,
Which
answer the
exam board have
question.
you studied?
Well, I'm just explaining.
Which exam board have you studied?
Well, are they
Chemo?
GCSE
Which
or are
exam
they
board?
A level?
Which exam board?
Not about me.
Which exam board have you studied, Chemo?
It's not about me.
Which exam board have you studied, Chemo?
It's not about
Which
me.
exam board have you taken your information from, Chemo? Which exam board?
Someone also says,
You don't know what an exam board is, do you, Chemo?
not about me.
You don't even know what an exam board is, do you?
Chemo, that it's not even about. It's not a question. Even it's about you. It's about what you've done. It's not about you specifically. It's not personal information. Chemo, I think you owe him an answer.
Yeah, it's not about me.
Which he's not going to.
It's about those questions.
What he does, he dodge docks and
Right,
dives
just
and
you're
lies.
continuing to interrupt me. I don't know why you keep on. But we say in defence of Spurs Chemo here, and the third question relating to the ideal gas,
So just to summarise,
even I would have to write it down.
Which exam board? Chemo, are you going to answer the question or not? Chemo, are you going to answer the question or not?
It's not
Just give me
relevant.
a yes or no. Do you know what an exam
It's
board
not
is?
relevant.
Do you even know what an exam board is?
It's not relevant.
It's not relevant. You're telling me that you know what teachers are teaching their kids. The exam boards set the curriculum, and you're telling me it's not relevant which exam board you've got your information from when the exam board set the curriculum.
Yeah, all of it is
Or
based.
at least set the exams that we're going to teach to.
All of it is based
So it's
on.
not relevant. It's not relevant. Right. Well, I'll tell you then that the exam boards that every teacher teaches in the country, nowhere in that specification does it say teach the kids there is gas pressure without a container. Nowhere does it say that.
He doesn't
Or does it? Am I a liar now? Which exam board are you talking about?
teach them about the heliocentric model, right?
Teach them about all sorts of stuff. They can go to RE and they can learn about creationism. They can come to science and they can learn about the Big Bang Theory, or they can learn about the
Big Bang. Where's the science in the Big Bang theory?
Or they could learn about the steady state theory. They could learn about that.
But this is
They
these
do
are
learn
all
about
lies.
observations that made people.
All lies.
What we do.
Where's the science with this Big Bang theory?
Have you looked at the specification, Chemo?
The science. What was
You
the
look at the
observed?
exam board's
What did we observe? What was the
specification,
observed
Chemo.
phenomenon?
You looked at the specification to see that, Chemo.
No, I didn't look at any of that. Was
Have
there
you
an
done
observed
any
phenomenon?
basic research whatsoever, Chemo?
No, I haven't done any of that.
Have you
Was
done
there
any
an
basic
for
research?
me to do any of that? There needs to be an observed phenomena first. Was there one?
Have you looked at the specifications,
No.
Chemo? Yes or no?
No, none of that.
Why are you being dishonest?
I've just
and
said
dodging
no.
the
I said
questions,
no. I haven't
Chemo?
looked at
Why
any
are
of
you
that.
dishonestly and easily dodging the questions, Chemo? Why are you dishonestly dodging the questions?
I answered
Which
you.
exam boards have you looked at?
I haven't looked at any.
And what was the answer?
None. I haven't
Right.
looked at any.
So how can you make claims about what teachers are teaching kids when you've not even looked at the exam board?
You've just told
now,
me.
That is the question that he's answering.
Just told me.
So do you think you know what teachers are teaching kids, given the fact that you didn't even know what an exam board was and you've not seen the specification?
I didn't say I
do
didn't
you think
know
you know
what
what
one
teachers
was.
are teaching kids? Do you think, yes or no, do you think that you know what teachers are teaching kids?
You've just said so, yeah. You're teaching about
Yes
the
or
heliocentric.
no? Do you, Chemo,
Hmm?
do you think that you know what teachers are teaching children?
Yes, I do.
You do. So where do you get that information from, given the fact that you didn't even know what an exam board was and you've never seen a specification?
I didn't say I didn't know what one was. I said it's not about me.
So where do you get your information from about what teachers are teaching, given the fact that you've never seen a specification? Where do you get your information
It's
from?
all public. Let's see.
So quote me some of it. Where do you get it from? Yes, it is all public.
So
It is
it's
all
not a
public.
secret, is it? It's not a
You've
big
never
deal.
seen it by your own admission. Where do you get your information from about what teachers are teaching? Tell me now, please.
Gov.co.uk.
.co.uk.
Yeah.
Right, so let me give you a clue here. Why don't you go onto the AQA or EdXL or OCR website where you can download the specification for GCSE, and it's all bullet pointed there for
That wasn't
you.
GCSE,
Okay.
that was A level.
Actually, no, it wasn't. It was triple physics, which is a GCSE course.
No, the people in your comments are saying it was.
Listen.
Made a mistake.
Why don't you go and download the No, I've been teaching this for 20 years, Chemo, and I'd put my 20 years experience against your absolute ignorance on this topic any
Yeah,
day
but
of the
the
week.
people.
Why don't you go to the AQA exam board website, download the triple physics specification, and go and have a look for the equations that I told you about? Why don't you do that? Why don't you go and have a look for the change of momentum over time that relates to force, which is taught in the area of the specification when we're talking about pressure and particles colliding and change of momentum? Why don't you do that? Why don't you go and look at the question I gave you? What was that third question I gave you about the constant pressure law, where P1 V1 over T1 equals P2 V2 over T2?
Oh, now you don't even remember your
there.
own question.
Why don't you go and have a look?
Now you don't even remember the question.
Yeah, I'm helping you. You haven't got a clue.
Point is, none of
Chemo,
these. None of this. Go on.
What we have established here, right, and I think pretty clearly
Oh,
for
you're
everybody,
ripping me
is
apart.
that you have claimed that you know exactly what's being taught in the classroom, and it's a lie. But on even like a minute's worth of investigation, it's been shown that you didn't even know what an exam board was. You've never read a specification. You've no idea where to even find one because you wanted to wander off to the wrong website. You have no idea what kids are being taught in the classroom. And when you're presented with some of the questions and info that we did yesterday to show exactly what they are being taught, you can't even answer it.
Right.
So you are literally the least capable person to be telling kids what's going right and wrong in the classroom, aren't you, Chemo?
Oh, when it comes to simple things that anyone can demonstrate, like gas without a container, it's not possible. Gas pressure, that is. I don't think you need to understand what you understand. I don't think you need years or 20 years to figure out that gas pressure requires a container conspiracy, right? Does it take you 20 years to figure that out?
So you don't need to understand gas pressure to tell people that teachers are. You don't need to understand gas pressure to tell people that teachers are teaching about gas pressure wrong.
For which year did
We
you?
could talk about. How about we talk about the Boltzmann equation, which is A level. We could talk about the Boltzmann equation and how that takes into account the potential energy. There's A level exam questions. We talk about nitrogen. What proportion of nitrogen can make it a certain distance away from the ground, and we look at the amount of potential energy they've got. We look at the temperature, etc. And we can calculate that proportion.
Can you? How do you calculate that without an experiment?
Do you want to do that?
How do you?
You see the Boltzmann. The Boltzmann equation. The Boltzmann equation. The real thing about it is it's used in industry all of the time when we're looking at regulating the percentage yield and theoretical yield and chemical reactions. It's actually used in industry all of the time, and it works.
Okay, so what?
You wouldn't know that because you've never seen the specification.
I wouldn't need to know that. What I do need to know, though, is how you have the gas pressure without the container.
We live in a gas pressured environment already.
So, Cats.
Which gas pressure? I'll tell you what. If you can give me.
Sorry?
You're going to ask me, how can you have gas? Well, let me ask you, why do you think you need a container around a body of gas? Why do you think you need a physical container around a body of gas for those gas particles within that body to collide upon a surface? Why do you think you need that?
That's where the pressure comes.
No, it doesn't. Ding dong, you're wrong. Let's go again. If I've got a body of gas that's got particles inside it, then those particles can collide on any surface and each other that's inside that body of gas. Now, why do I need a container around that body of gas? Go.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Where does the pressure come from? It comes from the walls of the container.
Ding dong, you're wrong. Let's go again. Let's go again, Chemo. This is fun. If you've got a body of gas, right, lots and lots of particles of gas all flying around, those particles of gas can bounce into anything. And when they bounce into something, we get a change in momentum. We discussed this in those child's questions you couldn't answer. That change in momentum, that rate of change in momentum, provides a force on whatever surface they're striking, right? So if I've got those particles of gas all flying around and striking off the surface of something, why do I need a physical container around the outside of that body of gas to stop them colliding on something on the inside? Off you go.
Well, you've just said a surface. It needs a surface. A wall. Walls of a container.
Oh, you're wrong. You're not listening. So let's say that surface, Chemo, is a human body. A human is stood in a field. All right, I'm sure you can imagine that. Right, we've got a human stood in a field.
Okay.
A human is experiencing air pressure or atmospheric pressure or gas, whatever you want to call it. It's experiencing pressure as the particles of the air around him bounce off him and experience that change of momentum.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, why does that field need a container all the way around it for those particles to bounce onto that human? What is the role of the container? Off you go.
But where did they get its acceleration from to bounce to you?
Ding dong, you're wrong. Okay, nothing to do with the container, is it? Let's go again. Why do those air particles, that body of air, why do they require a huge external container miles away that nobody can see to cause them to bounce off the human stood in the field? Go.
Because you wouldn't get the acceleration to bounce on.
No, you're wrong. Explain to me now why a container causes acceleration. A container 2 miles away, how does that cause acceleration on something? Go.
Try to listen. If they're coming towards you...
I want you to tell me how the container causes acceleration. Go.
Without the walls or a force, there is no acceleration.
Fine. How is a container? You're not answering the question. You've just said a sentence that doesn't mean anything. I want you to explain in detail. We'll give you all the time in the world because we all want to know how this works. How does a container miles away from that man in the field cause the particles around the man in the field to accelerate towards the man?
Because that's where the acceleration comes from. Without the walls of the container, there is no pressure, there is no acceleration.
How does the container do it?
Sorry?
How does the container do it? How does the container do it? How does the container cause that acceleration? We're not dodging this question, Chemo. How does the container cause that acceleration?
It creates a force. The walls create a force.
How? Yeah, the wall is miles away. How does it create a force on the particles around the man in the field?
Well, then it's not...
Don't just say it does. Tell me how.
Well, it's not. Then if it's just around the man, then it's
Tell
not.
me how. Brilliant.
No.
So that's exactly where we are. We do not need an external container for particles to collide with somebody in a field because that container is miles away. So well done. All right, Chemo. So when you start talking in future about having needing a container for gas pressure, let's remind ourselves of this conversation, which I'm glad I'm recording, by the way. Let's remind ourselves of this conversation where you've just admitted that having a container miles away doesn't actually have any effect on the particles near the man, doesn't stop them striking off the man, and doesn't stop them causing a pressure on the man.
Well, no, I've never claimed there is atmospheric pressure. You did. I asked you how...
I'm sorry, I don't even know why you said those words. I don't even know why you just said those words.
I'm not claiming that there's atmospheric pressure.
That's got nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Yeah, you're claiming there is gas pressure. I didn't talk about a man. I asked you about gas in a container. You said outside in the open there is pressure. I didn't claim there is pressure outside. That's why I'm asking you, where does the pressure come from? How do you have gas pressure without the container? You're struggling, Cats, to answer that.
I think there's not one person listening to this that thinks I'm the one that's struggling, Chemo. Let's just get that right.
Okay, so are we talking about gases? Are you talking about gases that are around the person or gases that are in a container?
I'm talking about the gas particles that are around the person.
Then there is no pressure around the person. The person doesn't feel any pressure.
Right, so what you're saying is there's no... So if you were to go and stand in a field, you experience no pressure. Is that what you're saying?
You only experience temperature, yeah, no pressure.
Right. So your argument is genuinely that you stand in a field and you experience no pressure.
Well, how are you going to feel pressure?
So,
where does the pressure come
for example,
how are you going to feel pressure, Kat? Where does the pressure come from?
We talked about gas particles. You've asked me a question, so I'm going to finish. We talked about that, Chemo. We talked about gas particles striking the surface of something, experiencing a change of momentum, and the rate of that change of momentum results in a force. And the pressures are some of those forces that's going to be striking the area of that person. Okay. Now, I've said that there is to defend your silly container claim. You've just said that there cannot be any pressure whatsoever, which means that you're saying that gas particles don't strike anything in a field. Am I right or wrong?
I'm saying that the gases require a container for acceleration and pressure. That's all I'm saying. Whatever you were saying about in the field.
We did that, remember? We did that, and I asked you. Oh, no, hang on. I want to keep you on task here, Kim. I want to keep you on point because you do have a tendency of wandering off. I asked you before, how does the container wall result in causing that acceleration of the gas particles? And you said it wouldn't. They're your words, not mine, Chemo. Your words are that it wouldn't.
Yeah, outside.
So we ruled out that, and then to get around that, you said, therefore there is no pressure in the field. You said two things. Which one of these things are you retracting?
Yeah.
You said
there's no container, conspiracy cats. There's no without the container, there is no pressure. We've established that, yeah?
No, we've not established that. You've said something that's wrong, and we're just investigating it. So you actually said that in the middle of a field there is no pressure.
Right.
Now, if there's no pressure in the middle of a field, what that means is there's no gas particles striking the surface of anything. Now, we could get technical and talk about taking barometers out and stuff like that, or we could just look at the wind, Chemo, where gas particles strike stuff. Are you saying there's no wind in a field?
What's the cause of wind?
There's no wind in a field, Chemo.
What's the cause of this phenomenon?
Is there any wind in a field? Chemo, I could ask this to a 4-year-old and they'd answer. Is there any wind in a field? Yes or no?
What is the cause of this wind?
Is there any wind in a field?
Right, there are windmills, yeah, turbine windmills, yes.
I said wind, not windmill.
Yeah,
okay.
So there's a big fan spinning in the field and it's creating wind. Yeah, so what?
So wind is gas particles moving, and when you experience that wind, those gas particles are striking you.
Yeah, there's a big windmill there.
That's impossible, Kimmer. You said that gas particles don't strike the surface.
There's a big electric windmill there. So what?
Right, Chemo, you're just saying words now that are not anything to do with the conversation. There's a big electric windmill there. Are you? Why would you even put those words in that order?
Because you're invoking effects without a cause. Wind. Well, what causes wind?
What causes? So rather than talk about gas pressure now, you want to talk about meteorological processes and convection currents in the atmosphere and stuff like that. Is that? Do you want to go there?
No, I just want
to. Where you want to go?
No, I just want a scientific experiment.
I really don't think you do, Chemo. I really don't think you do. Chemo, let's just summarize what you have said.
Okay.
Right. So we all know where this conversation has gone. This conversation has gone like this. You said you can't have gas pressure without a container, so I told you to imagine somebody in a field experiencing gas pressure, and you said, yeah, but there must be a container. So I brought up the dome that was miles away and said, how does that dome cause the particles next to the man to strike the man? And you said it doesn't. And then you realized that meant that there has to be no pressure. So then you said, yeah, that means there's no pressure in a field. So I talked about the wind showing that gas particles strike something, and you said, "Oh,
what causes wind? What causes wind? Yeah. What's the cause of this temperature change that you speak of?
The whole point, Chemo, is that it exists, that the wind exists, and that shows that we do get gas particles striking the surface of something without even having to measure it with a barometer. So going to the You're changing subject. I'm not going to let you change subject here.
I'm sticking on your point. The wind is caused by temperature. You keep invoking pressure. There is no pressure without a container. Where does this pressure come from?
You wanted to bring this up. You wanted to bring this up, not me. You have said that the container miles away does not cause the gas particles near the person to strike the person. Do you stick with that claim, or do you want to change it now because you need to?
That's not what I said.
Tell me then, but stick on topic. What is the role of the container when it comes to causing those gas particles to strike the man in the field?
They cause acceleration.
How?
Because they create a force on the walls.
They are not near the wall, they are near the man.
But they have an acceleration, right?
Not necessarily. You'd be traveling at a constant speed. You're not have acceleration. There'll be acceleration due to gravity. We could go there at some point.
Which gravity?
But how does the container?
The gravity. Which gravity are you talking about? Einsteinian gravity or Newtonian gravity?
How does the container cause a force? I'm not going down your silly little soundbites that you and Nathan Oakley and Stephen Warrior used to get out of.
Why don't you bang your head against the wall and see if there's a force there?
How can I bang my head against the wall if the wall is miles and miles and miles away? How does the wall cause a force on a particle that is miles and miles and miles away?
So you don't feel any force then, right?
Chemo.
Exactly.
Answer it, please, Chemo.
But you're not going to, are you? There's no acceleration in your head. Your head is still, yeah? It's moving in all directions, freely, yeah? Yeah, exactly. So because your head is moving freely in all directions, if your head...
How does the container, Chemo, create a force on particles that are miles and miles and miles away? How does that happen?
How it hits the walls and creates acceleration. An object in motion will stay in motion. An object in motion will stay in motion until another force acts on it. Conspiracy cats.
Are you trying to say? I'm going to help you out here, right? Are you trying to say that at some point in the past they've hit that wall and bounced off it? Is that what you're saying?
That's what happens in the container. Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say?
That's what happens with gas pressure.
Oh, brilliant! Oh, awesome.
Yeah, with gas pressure.
So what you're saying is that those particles. So what you're saying is those particles are traveling out and hitting the walls and bouncing back and then hitting the man. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's where the acceleration would come from, yeah. If you're claiming pressure, that is.
Okay, why? What is acceleration, Chemo?
Acceleration is, again, very simple questions you're asking.
It is, isn't it? And you just told me all about acceleration and how a wall causes acceleration. So of course you know what acceleration is. So what is acceleration, Chemo?
Well, it's very simple.
It is very simple. I'm sure you're googling it now. But what is it?
And again, these questions you're asking me, just like yesterday, are very simple. Okay, but these are here to win points.
You can hear you typing it.
So obviously, acceleration in mechanics is acceleration is the rate of change of the velocity of an object with respect to time.
Hey, I tell you what. If I Google acceleration, right? If I Google it, acceleration, what do I get? Oh, in mechanics, acceleration is a rate of change of velocity of an object with respect to time. Yep. It also says they are vector quantities and goes on top of it. Why did you have to Google acceleration?
Oh, I remembered it. Yeah, I remembered it. I've had this conversation before.
Why did you have to Google it? Why did you take 10 seconds? I mean, none of us believe that, but why did you have to Google acceleration when you're telling me that a wall miles away from a man in a field can cause acceleration on particles? And then you're asked what acceleration is to show that you understand what you're saying. You've got to Google acceleration. Why would you have to do that?
Oh, I've remembered that from a long time ago. Just asking very, very simple questions. It's just hilarious. It's just hilarious that you're asking such simple questions.
What are the units of acceleration, Chemo?
Units of acceleration. Again, you're asking very, very simple questions.
I've got a feeling when you Google this, you're going to say it wrong.
Hey?
When you go ahead and Google it, and then when you read out the answer,
look,
when you read
for
out the answer,
the last 2 days,
again,
this is another tactic, conspiracy cats, which I've already outlined. And when you get yourself,
it's only the units of acceleration.
When you get back to the corner,
units of acceleration. You understand it. You understand acceleration because a wall miles away from a man in a field can cause particles next to that man to accelerate and hit that man. So you obviously know lots about acceleration. I know you know how to Google the definition, so full marks for that. What are the units, Chemo, of acceleration?
You ask a very, very simple question, okay? And it's just meter per second, yeah? Very, very simple.
So give me the answer. Give me the answer.
Oh, again,
Meters per
look,
second.
I'm not one of your
Um,
students,
Would
conspiracy
that be the
cats.
same? Would that be the same or different as saying meters per second squared? Would that be the same or
Just,
different?
look, the idea is
Would that be the same or different?
but you're
Would it be
backed in
the
a
same or
corner,
different?
and you're doing now what you usually do
I
when
don't
you're
think
backed.
anyone thinks I'm the one back in the corner.
Well, then stop
Would that
asking
be the
silly
same
questions.
as saying meters per second squared?
Stop
Would
asking
it be
silly
the
questions.
same as saying meters per second squared?
Does this prove gas pressure
Would
without a
it be the
container?
same?
I'll answer you
Would it
if
be
you
the
tell
same
me,
as
does
saying
it
meters per
prove
second
gas
squared?
pressure without a container?
Oh, well, you can throw your sound bites out, but we've dealt with your sound bite. We're digging into your sound bite now, and it's clear that you don't know what you're talking about. Would it be clear, would it be fair to say that meters per second is or is not the same as meters per second squared? What do you think? You've got 50% chance of getting this right.
Right, look, again, I'm not one of your students.
Everybody's rooting for you, Chemo. Everybody's rooting for you. You've got friends listening to this, you've got family listening to this, the internet talking about it. You know, everybody here is, the people got the flags. You can do it, Chemo, right? You can do it, mate.
Right,
Is
again,
meters per second the same as meters per second squared?
look, as we've seen from yesterday, live on Ranties,
Yes or no? Yes or no?
and from the
Yes or no?
comments, from the comments
Not
here,
dodge.
conspiracy
Yes
cats,
or no?
you're not asking questions.
Give me the answer, Chemo.
You're-
Yes or no?
You're not answering. You're not asking questions that are useful. Conspiracy. Read your comments. Read the comments. In the
So
chat.
let's get the answers.
Read the comments in your chats. They're not useful questions.
Chemo. I think you're flapping a little bit here, Chemo. Give me the answer. Is meters per second squared an acceptable way of saying meters per second, or is it not?
Look, these are just ideas that we've put together.
Oh, dear me. Okay, that's number 4. Let's go again. Number 5. Chemo. Is saying meters per second squared an acceptable way of saying meters per second
Look, I've
or
answered.
not?
I've already answered many
You might get it
questions
right.
of yours. Okay. Haven't
Is
provided.
it the same? Is it the same? Yes or no?
No, of course not.
Yes, it is. It was 50-50. How did you screw that up?
So you
Try
can.
again.
So you can.
Is it? No, try again. Try again. We'll get this
No,
right.
no.
It's
I
not
say
50-50.
The
no.
answer is no.
I say no.
No, meters per second squared is meters per second.
No.
How many meters is that in 3 seconds?
What?
In 3 seconds, how many meters is that?
That cannot be a serious question.
Shut your pie hole, Don.
That cannot be a serious question.
Because no one's taking these
Unfortunately-
questions seriously,
I'm
conspiracy
not-
cats. Try to understand that these questions are not serious and useful questions. They're just equations that are made up to try and explain something away. But we're talking about the practicality. Now, you've already said that you cannot have gas pressure without the container. Without the container, there is no pressure. So if you're saying that we don't live in a container, well then
Right.
how can there be any pressure?
Well, let's go again. You already know the right answer.
Sorry?
Right, for everyone who's just turned up, let's just review.
If the
because we
x
don't really go over
variable
that. Let's
is
review
3,
what
what's the
you
m
started with
variable,
that.
genius?
You started with
What's
that.
the m? What's the fucking m if the s is
Yeah.
3?
Chemo, this guy's shouting a lot. I think he's a little bit upset with your performance. Anyway,
I
Chemo,
don't
to
have
answer your
this time,
question.
bro. You picking on Chemo, I don't like it, bro.
This guy's really upset, isn't he? Anyway, so what we said is we've got a guy in a field, and the pressure that guy experiences is due to the air particles colliding off him. And you said, well, that was because we need a container. So I said, how does a container miles away that person? And you said it doesn't, which leads to the conclusion that there is no pressure on the person. And you said, yes, there is no pressure on the person. So I said, well, what about wind? That shows air particles striking a surface. We all feel that. And then you said, yes, windmills exist, which meant nothing. And then you said, well, somehow this wall causes an acceleration. And I said, oh, brilliant. What is acceleration? And then you spent at least 4 or 5 minutes Googling the equation for acceleration, and then you didn't know the units to it. So that's where we're at, Chemo.
Yes.
You don't know how to apply it.
That needs revisiting.
Yeah, so look, cats, your questions are interesting. They're for exams of A levels. And those things are not needed demonstrate the shape. What we're looking for is that practical demonstration. The atmosphere under pressure, out that. I haven't answered. What is the cause of this pressure?
Well, I love the sound. I love the soundbite. I love the soundbite because we've gone through an entire conversation there where everybody's just saying you haven't got a clue what you're talking about. You can't even you obviously can't justify why you feel there's some kind of need for a container. You obviously haven't got the first clue about how a container would relate to gas pressure on Earth. You haven't got a clue about any of that. And after being shown that you can't even tell me the units of acceleration, you now want to just say all over again and start from scratch and just say, show me gas pressure without a container. Chemo, I'm gonna listen. I think I've shown up
Another one
here
bites the dust.
as much as needed. Let me just give you a bit of advice. No, let me just give you a bit of life advice. I'm going to disappear, right? I'm sat here now listening to this for a bit of entertainment. I've been dragged into it as I'm working. I'm writing some textbooks at the minute, and it's hard work, and I've taken a break for a bit of entertainment. I'm going to get back to my work. But every time I come on here, you're on here all of the time. All of the time, you're being schooled over and over and over and over again. All right? And this might sound horrible, Chemo, but I think you need to hear this, right? If you're here all of the time saying the same things over and over and over again without any understanding of what you're talking about, what's going on in the rest of your life, buddy?
Right.
Seriously, I'm not trying to put you down, but what is going on in the rest of your life that you feel you need to be here all of the time? Go and sort out whatever those issues are. There's a life to live out there. There's a life for you to live, right? Stuff for you to achieve, stuff for you to do, rather than just being here trolling people all the time. And I know you're trolling, and I've been dragged in, and it's been fun, and it's been great, all right? But seriously, Chemo, this flat Earth stuff is not doing your life any good.
I appreciate your kind words. That's the kind of you.
Okay.
And he's not here
It's
all
not
the
doing
time.
your
It's a
life.
blessing when he is, man. For real.
Look,
Who is that guy?
the general idea is, Katz is someone who has been indoctrinated, just like everybody else, and he's repeating that indoctrination to other people. Now, obviously, what we're doing is asking.
I'm going now anyway. I'll see you later. I'll be listening.
Yeah, appreciate you, Katz. But like I say, questioning.
Hold up, drop the video for him. But Conspiracy Catch, if you haven't heard the song, you got to check out Chemo's song. I was just about to drop it in the box and tag you in it.
Why would they lie?
Yes. There's more bigger things at play here, Conspiracy Catch.
What, not the Blowing Soldiers song?
Oh, Don, could you answer your own question? If the S is 3, then what is the M?
Well, I was going to just go with a 1 unit, though, for the rate of acceleration. I wasn't going to use the gravity number. I was just saying...
No. So if the S
Hold on,
is
I got to drop the video for him. I'll be right
what
back.
is the M? I just want you to answer your own question. If the S is 3, what is the M? That's all I want you to answer, Don.
I mean, this all started with, do we know what's being taught in schools? And yeah, it's not difficult to find out what they lied to the young people about when it comes to the shape of the Earth. Now, one of the most important...
you answer that?
What?
Chemo?
What?
Don's question. If the M or if the S is 3, what is the M?
Oh, I mean, look, again, I'm not into your mathematical riddles and stuff. It's not reality.
Alright, that's fine. That's the same as saying you can't answer it. That's
it's
fine.
a waste of time. Look, if it was useful, then it would be knowable. I would know it. I would understand it. But there is no use to any of this, which is what we're finding out from Conspiracy Cats here. Why are you interrupting me? What's all over me? So, if it was useful, you can see with Conspiracy Cats here, it's not useful by any means, right?
Are you saying going from acceleration or going from seconds to a distance isn't important?
No, again, we're talking about the shape of the Earth, the nature of where we live, not a test. We're not taking exams. He thinks that we're taking an exam or something. I don't know, he needs to get out of his brain. We're not here to take an exam. We're not studying for the next couple of months or whatever, taking our finals. Okay, what we're looking for.
Isn't you're saying we've got the numbers?
When it
just
comes
the numbers or the calculations that the things you do?
Yeah, we've got the numbers. We've got the 3959 radius, and then we can work with that and test to see if that measures up. Turns out it doesn't. Turns out that because there's no geometric edge, horizon, whatever you want to call it, you've got an apparent horizon that should welcome everyone to flat Earth. But more importantly, like I said, Katz is saying, what's being taught, and the general idea is lies, practicality, rhetoric, as we've heard. his analysis of me was, oh wow, you didn't know this answer. I asked you this, and you didn't know. You took this long, and it just means you don't know my question. Okay, so what? Do you know how to practically demonstrate the information, the model that we were told?
Yeah, I guess that's one test you could do.
No, not I could do. He's a teacher, remember, telling the children lies in the classroom already. See?
Just seems like you just got absolutely smashed in a debate.
May seem like that now.
It does, yeah. That's exactly how it seems to me.
I mean, look, I get it. Yeah, it's going to seem like that because, you know, he gets to shout at me, he's abusive to me, and I'm just like, oh.
No, it just seemed like he asked you really questions that are central to this debate, and you weren't able to answer them. That's why it seemed like you got smashed.
I'm going to get detention. Oh, no.
Chemo, could you do me a favor and unmute Foolish?
No, he's interrupted. Yes, every time I speak, he seems to speak. It's a very strange thing. Okay. But yeah, after 2 minutes, yeah, you can come back. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, again, it's like you guys see a victory when it tells us off. Like, you've been a naughty, naughty boy, and you will stay behind school for an extra 30 minutes and write on the board. You know, that's the attitude I get. And it's like, come on now, look, we're adults now, okay, and we're men of practicality. We use hands, put things, build things, measure things with the hands. Do you have anything of that to offer? It's just more questions. Well, how do you calculate this? And I can't understand how he doesn't understand.
They seem like they were pretty important questions. Like to understand acceleration is crucial to the whole flat Earth thing. To know that meters per second squared is the same as meters per second.
Yeah, these questions are known, but again, if he's going to keep asking silly questions,
not by you though, are they?
Yes, they're all known. Everything he asks is known, it's understood, but he's asking silly questions.
Oh, but you give the wrong answer.
Yes, he's asking silly questions. You get silly answers.
Well, you didn't do that with the other question. You asked you what acceleration was. It took you like
I answered one,
to Google it, and you gave him you didn't give him a silly answer then, did you?
No, because I asked him. He asked me once. Okay, I'll answer this. Oh, okay, I'll answer this. Oh, okay.
Some good blood sport,
I'm thinking,
though.
okay, if I answer this, does it mean we're going to get to a conclusion? No. There's more questions, more exams.
Yeah.
Let me just check my exam.
So do you think asking questions is bad, Chemo? Because I feel like
not that it's not bad, but it has to lead to somewhere. Yeah, and if he's just trying to show that
demonstrating that you don't understand.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
So I
think you can't remember.
Kind of tick that box, right?
That's fine, because I've got support in his own video on his own channel that says I would have had to have written those questions down. I studied physics, and I don't even know the answers to those questions.
But you profess to be a teacher to children, Chemo. That's his point, isn't it? Normally, it's not. I don't think it's really a good thing to ask like questions like that and say, "Haha, you don't know." But that's not what he's doing. He's showing you that you don't know the basics, and yet you're professing to be a teacher of people. So it's relevant.
Again, yeah. If I was giving them an exam, I would set those questions up, just like what's done here, and that's the curriculum for that, whatever year, whatever it is, and that's how it would have gone. But what we're doing is we're teaching the current science to these young people. They're not told about Einstein, current science, and gravity's not a force.
So what? Do you have a different type of acceleration in your science?
It's a apparent acceleration. Yeah, it's not an actual acceleration.
So you have different meanings of all the basic terms in physics.
He's not teaching the kids, the young people, that it's an apparent acceleration, not an actual. Okay, so that the force is not a force. You can't have acceleration without a force or like a container. And he's saying there's no container. He spoke about gravity quickly, said gravity, and then went on to something else. And then we realised that once I asked him which gravity, fell apart, and that's what he's doing in the classroom. Right? If the young people were to ask him, "Hey, sir, which gravity are you talking about then?" Well, don't ask me. Don't ask me that. Let's move on to something else. Just read about it. Yeah, but sir, how does this bending of space-time...
I mean, it's admirable backfilling, Chemo, but I don't think anybody here is buying it.
Well, again, this is
it's a bold attempt at backfilling.
I mean, again, all I'm doing is pointing out how this conversation went and what it was supposed to achieve.
Well, yeah, you're trying to backfill, right? You're trying to tell us that it went a different way to what we all heard, but what it sounded like happened was that you were asked some fairly fundamental questions about physics because you claimed that physics was, you understood it and people were teaching it poorly, and it seems that you then just got
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely
again,
schooled.
look, what you heard was me being berated by like a teacher. So it's fun because you guys are still in that mentality, you know, of someone being told off, you know, like ha ha ha. But the reality is,
yeah,
of course, feel like a little bit of that. But the reality is he's not able to practically demonstrate any of his claims. Yes. So
well, except that you didn't understand that stuff. That he seemed to demonstrate fairly effectively.
Just by saying, look, you don't know my answers, you don't know the answers to my questions there and then. Fun.
Chemo, all I gotta do is say quantum physics.
Exactly.
Because it's changing all this shit anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, quantum physics for most people who understand it is like not what most people who invoke it. The Venn diagram of people who invoke quantum physics in discussions and people who understand quantum physics has no intersection. It's two separate circles.
I mean, at the end of the day, cats.
Time crystals.
I understand
exactly. That kind of stuff, right?
Are you trying to take...
that says throw your old bullshit away.
I mean, sure, that's what most people who want to invoke like metaphysical things. When I say metaphysical, I mean non-physical. I mean like not real.
Why does it mean throw it away?
Because it's a facade. You want to look deeper.
I want a substantive answer.
Most people just they want to go, oh, maybe all of matter is subject to our consciousness, and none of this is real, and it's
because uniformity in nature. We want to throw away the facade, and we want to look down to
dance the dirt, Don. Dance the dirt.
Level, which is the smallest level, which is the true bits. Fuck your close enough measurement.
Fucking deal.
Fuck your close enough measurement. Enter your time crystals. Enter your nuclear fusion.
Tell me about your time crystals.
Electromagnetism.
Everything you understand about them.
Chemo's overarching point of
Chemo has no point.
Exact shit.
Of course,
he's still going to hold true whether he's talking about a map of the Earth or what.
Chemo has no point.
Of course, I do.
Kids
you're so full of shit.
We need to teach these kids not to listen to the narratives and the sensationalist article titles that we all know are fucking out there. Thank you.
You deserve to get raped by grizzly bears.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Oh, Jesus.
Curve, you made the wife laugh so loud right there. She's giggling her ass off.
What do you know about time crystals, Don?
Correct. I know you can throw your old Einsteinian bullshit away. Throw it away and enter.
Well, no. Don't tell me about your conclusions. What do you know about time crystals?
I know old Einstein, old and busted, time crystals, new hotness.
New hotness.
Right. So exactly what I suspected. You don't really know anything.
Join the bandwagon. Get on board while
heard somebody say
the
something,
stock is low.
and you don't know how to apply it other than to, shake your pom-poms and, well, if your wife's listening, I won't say what you're doing for Chemo.
I'm sticking my pom-poms up for Chemo's point of open your ears, kids. Open your ears and listen to the truth. Okay,
dude, don't go there. It's not just
use the word.
in
Don't
really
use the
poor
word
taste.
truth and
It's
chemo in the
twisted.
same fucking sentence. It's a redundant fact.
God,
Chemo
who
is
unmuted Druss?
I know, he's just over talking again. I don't know why this is happening. Unrelentless. Cannot wait until the gap, but carry on.
Unrelentless.
Relentless or unrelenting?
Unrelenting.
Think about it.
Unrelenting.
Unrelentless he is.
Yes.
Just has a right to free speech as well.
But not when other people are talking.
Well, it's hard to fucking get in when you've got delays and all that. Yeah, other people might be talking, but there are delays on mics and shit, so you can't be perfect at it every time. I mean, let's just say, if someone's got a lot to say, yeah, of course they want to say it on the mic, and they want to get it out, but, in fear of losing their fucking idea.
Yeah, but you managed to get your bit out just then without interrupting anyone.
You've got to be assertive and do it at the right moment. Yeah, but don't just do it blatantly.
Tal and Chemo, these guys are going to shit their pants. Okay, they're going to shit their pants when they realize the Earth going to be flat and or globe, and pizza or whatever, infinite anything. They're gonna shit their pants when it's two things at the same time. They're really gonna shit their pants. I promise you.
You're out of your mind. You literally are out of your mind.
His head's about to explode right now.
What do you mean two things at the same time? You reckon it's both flat and round now?
Dude, it can be infinite possibilities.
You don't understand time crystals, bro. Quantum. Just say quantum.
That's it. Quantum. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do is say quantum. It's over.
Yeah, it confuses the fuck out of everyone. That's why you got to say it for you.
How can you argue if you act like you accept the basic premises of what they sell you? How can you argue with this simple logical application of fucking two things at the same time? Like how can you guys argue it when you buy hook, line, and sinker all the fucking bullshit? All of it.
Yeah, but we don't go down to the supermarket.
What are you talking about?
We don't buy.
How's it flat and a sphere at the same time?
Yeah, and many other things.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Whatever people are thinking are thinking it is, right? If they're gonna look and they only have the power to resolve it to that, you're saying, oh, they have the limited understanding. They can't think in 3D.
No,
for example,
you're not
they can't
answering
think
the
in 3D,
question.
right? So
You're not
that's
making
the only way
sense.
it's been resolved. So that's what it has to be, right? So therefore,
No,
multiple
no.
yes.
No, you're just making stupid statements for no good reason.
Okay, you'll find out.
Come on.
I'm telling you.
No. Tell me how it's flat in a sphere at the same time.
Well, it's gonna sound like a stupid statement, so put your seatbelt on.
Good on you, Don.
Go ahead.
Fast ride.
Let me know when there's a gap when I can talk, so I don't get muted.
Foolish, come on in, homie. Yeah, maybe
did
if you
that.
want to elaborate for this
Are you
basic.
trying to
point I'm
compensate for your quantum penis, Don?
Yo, it's two things at once, man. That's simple as that. Foolish wants to maybe say
Things,
No, you know
things
what?
can be two
Fuck it.
things at
I'm
once.
so fucking fed
A
up
car
with
can be
this.
red, a
Can
car
we
can
let
be
him
hot, but they're not contradictory. Yeah, I'm almost done. Who's asking me to let him talk?
I'm sorry, it was me. Go ahead.
He did it again.
Fuck yourself.
No,
Fucking gobs.
go, Kurt, go, Foolish, go.
Well, Don, I'm giving up because you're not worth talking to anyway. I just hate it when you start pom-poms. Now go back to slurping Chemo.
I heard people shitting on Chemo's point of thinking more, and I want to hear what Foolish has to say.
Go on then, Foolish. Off you go. Oh, now there's a gap. He doesn't want to talk.
Come
He
on,
left because he got enough of it.
get it out.
Go on.
Say the thing that we just can't live without fucking hearing, Drugs.
He's left.
I think
Well,
it's fucking
fuck him
stupid.
then.
He was
Good.
he was mad he was gonna
For no
expose me
reason.
better than you, Curved. He wanted to fucking maybe had a juxtaposition.
Dude, I'm just asking you a simple question that you're dodging.
I'm giving you simple answers, motherfuckers.
No,
First
not
of
to
all,
my
you know
question.
It's only gonna be. It's
Not
not gonna
to
be
my
anything
question.
until they look. Dan, if motherfuckers have limited ability to resolve, right, and scope of thinking, right, how can it be
Word.
what they could resolve?
Salad.
Right? So some are
Babble.
gonna be. Go ahead, bro. If you want to talk.
Word salad babble. Don, you're not addressing the issue. You're not answering the question.
No, I'm
You're
trying.
not even making sense.
Yeah, it's gonna sound stupid, but you know,
It will,
Okay.
especially from you.
it's gonna be real though. You're gonna see.
If it's gonna sound stupid, why are you even saying it?
Because he's acting like he wants to learn. So guys, we are blessed right now to understand that the point all stemming from Chemo's point, which supposedly he's doing this time, should be doing time over here, doing this other time with his time and his life. His championing of whatever point about thinking, smart, not being told what to think, right? That's what leads all these people into just being like, I'm going to do this work and look, these results say this, and I'm going to put my chest out and say that we broke all the other this other standing physics law because it's new shit. And it takes that mentality to do the work that we end up praising. You know what I mean? We hate them and then we praise them. We hate them, then we praise them.
Hey,
We need to respect
you stupid, ignorant, cocksucking fuck. What is the point of that bullshit in the text chat?
That's right on the eggshell, should talk.
I don't know. You just seem really cranky, Curved. I didn't see any problem with
Fuck
people speaking.
you, number one. How did I
Sure.
shit on Druss because I'm in a mood?
Are you not in a mood? Is this you in a good mood?
He's a grumpy old man.
No, someone's
No,
pissing in
dummy.
his cornflakes and they're trying to fucking excuse it as rain.
I got time to deal with you later, Grumpy Bear. That's going to be you now, Grumpy Bear.
Bear. Okay, thank you. I
You
got a
want
new
to call
nickname.
somebody Grumpy because you're a stupid little ditz. But anyway, eggshells.
Yeah, what, Curved?
Why don't you just learn to fuck it?
Learn to what?
You
Finish
can't.
your thought. Go on.
If he wants to decide to not go there, then let him not go there. Let's not. No need to try to escalate like that. Just move on.
Who rattled your cage? Bugger off.
What?
You're a good old drill sergeant.
No, what is Veach's point? I don't even know who he
I
was.
don't know. Who's he? Who's Veach?
My
Who's
point,
that?
my point is, if you decide not to finish your sentence, you have the right to not finish your sentence, and he shouldn't try to provoke you into finishing if you don't want to.
I don't even understand. I don't.
I'm
I didn't
violating
catch that.
someone's rights by provoking them into finishing what they were clearly going to say to insult me.
You stopped yourself halfway. You said, "Ah, fuck it," and you weren't going to say anything. And then he said, "No, come on. What were you going to say? What were you going to say?" And I was telling him, "There's no need to try to poke you into saying what you were going to say when you decided not to, because you clearly thought better of it."
Yeah, I didn't catch any of that. I didn't hear him try to provoke me like that. But I mean, of all people, I don't know why he's trying to provoke someone.
Well, I mean, I just am saying that. I think. Yeah.
Why me of all people? What's the relevance there?
Your judgment was piss poor on that, by the way.
On what? You're in a good mood.
It's not about me being in a good or bad mood. It's about the shit that you said and tried to pin on it. I did not shit on Druss because I'm in a mood.
Well,
you ignorant cunt.
There was a couple of us talking
Now,
that didn't
did I
want to
call you that because I'm in a mood? Or did I call you that because you're an
You're an
ignorant
asshole.
cunt?
I can't tell the difference between the two, to be honest.
You're a worthless piece of shit, and I think I'm just.
I'm sorry you're like this. I thought I was hoping it was temporary.
Fuck off, eggshells.
Curved. Are you like? How much do you charge for the acting training?
Come on, Curved, buddy, reel it in, sir.
Just get out of his cave and fuck off and go and do some hunting or something. Go and find a fucking fishing rod and do a bit of fishing. Leave him alone in his cave and he'll be happy.
Chemo. Like anybody gives a fuck what you think, Mole Man.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
All you bring, Curb, is grumpiness.
Oh my gosh, what an attacking Curb?
Does he
fuck, Gummy?
Leave him
What
alone
is
and get off
going
his
on?
fucking
They're just flying out today. Everyone's like, right, I need to
What
get
do you,
this off.
oh, Gummy's upset
They're
because
like, right.
I said he doesn't bring anything to
One is like,
the
right,
server
now he
that
said it,
we
I'm going to say
don't
my bit too.
already
No.
have in spades.
That comment, I did not.
Anybody
mind
else want to
whatsoever.
get it off their
That didn't
chest
get
about
to me.
Curb?
Yeah, that hurt. That stung, didn't it, Gummy?
No,
but you
it's
don't.
true.
The
I
only
don't
thing
care
you
about that
bring,
one.
the only thing that you bring with that is an inability to express it in a reasonable amount of time.
I do not mind that comment. It is very correct. That has nothing to do with me calling you grumpy.
Yeah, it does.
If you want to say it does, then sure, but that's not the reason I bring it up. That's
no.
all up to you.
You got to get some kind of a dig in back against me.
Well, you're saying something that's incorrect. I'm not saying this because of that comment. That comment did not affect me whatsoever. You can think
What am I
it
saying
did.
that's incorrect? What am I saying that's incorrect?
That the
The
reason
comment
I'm
is
calling
enough.
you grumpy is because of the comment that I don't bring anything new to here. Which is true, because there are many people that bring what I bring.
Cake?
There are
Is it
lots of
cake?
autards in here. It's correct.
Well, everyone's unique. I think everyone brings their own particular blend of flavor.
So now that we know about
Who's that, Matt Renee? Come on, who else wants the dog pile, you fucking idiots?
Next. Anyone has a concern with curved? Now is the time.
Looks like no one has.
Okay.
So now that we know about quantum mechanics, what is pressure, gas pressure in quantum mechanics, Chemo?
Oh, who knows? You know, we don't have any demonstrations. All we have is theories, ideas,
Who
numbers, but
thinks
nothing
Conspiracy
practical.
Cats has seen Chemo's song video before?
Oh, have you seen it, Cats?
I bet he has.
So Chemo, you should go to a physics lab and tell them that. They'll appreciate the knowledge that you give them.
Go to a physics lab and tell them what?
Tell them that they don't have a model, that they don't have proof and stuff.
Well, I mean, there are online classes that we can speak to teachers, yeah. So yeah, and we've got a teacher right here now in our midst, and all he's done is treat us like we're his students. And for some strange reason, he thinks we have an exam coming up next, or something, trying to remind us, hey guys, what's the answers to these questions? You've got a test next week. And it's like, huh? Who said there's a test next week? What's going on? So if that's like the globe tactic of a teacher, this is not very effective, not very useful, and it's just pure indoctrination. That's what we're dealing with here, Shadow. It's, the teachers, as you can see right here now, real time, live, telling you for 20 years they've been telling the children what to think. You must think this to pass this test. These are the answers. If you get them wrong, you won't pass our test. Yes?
I agree. The part that there's something wrong in our education.
Mm-hmm. And he's part of it. Not him directly. I mean, I'm not being personal to Katz himself. It's not his fault specifically. You know, he's just grown up in the world, decided, hey, I want to help other people, give them information, and do the right thing. Right? That's normal. But unfortunately, along the way, his critical thought went out the window. And he never actually questioned any of what he was told and tried to practically...
Here's the thing, Chemo. Once you're over 18, you're allowed to do whatever the fuck you want to do. You're allowed to go on the internet, research as much as you can, get into flat earth discussion. Nothing is hindering you from pursuing other knowledges in the field. So you can't complain that you're being indoctrinated.
No, just when it comes to one aspect of, where we live, one aspect of reality. So, in terms of the shape of the earth, they are being lied to. We are being lied to. No doubt.
Who's lying?
Again, is it on purpose? I don't know if it's on purpose, but they're giving misinformation. You know, lying is probably a bit strong, but
who's lying?
That's what I'm trying to say. So whether it's purposely, then he's not purposely saying, right, I'm going to deceive you, right? It's not. I don't mean like that, but he's repeating the lie that was given to him, right? So it's not his lie. He's not a liar or anything like that. Part of the system. What?
Are you talking about people in here in the chat room?
Yeah, we got a teacher, Conspiracy Cat.
What lie? That gravity is a force? That's a fact.
That's not the current science. Again, that's another lie or just misinformation. So I don't know how you want to put it. Now you know that Einstein says gravity is the bending of space-time. If you say it's a force, well then you're lying, right? Because you know the current science.
You got a citation for Einstein said that, Chemo?
What, it's the bending of space-time?
Yeah, where's the citation for that?
So you're saying it's not the bending of space?
No, I want you to show me where Einstein said that.
Oh, you're going to have to look at some of the papers. Equation.
Actually, I want to see a video of it, but...
Oh, come on, you're well older than me. You've seen Einstein more than I've had at dinner.
Come on now, Chemo. making these assertions that Einstein said something. Where's the quotation? Give me a citation.
Come on, this is what I mean. This is all nonsense. You've probably seen Einstein in reality.
Not nonsense.
Or saw him on television or something.
I didn't hear Einstein say that. So I want you to tell me.
Well, what did he say then? Maybe I wasn't
Einstein
around then. Yeah. So what did he say?
I don't know. You tell you.
I
say
just
he says
heard
that
George Musa
it's the bending of space time. So you need
tell
to tell
us
me where I can
that
find
gravity is
citation
not
that
a
says
force. Blue. That's what I've heard. I've already heard about. Again, none of this is.
Well, tell me where Einstein says gravity is not a force.
No, he says it's the bending of space time.
Show it. Give a citation for it, please.
George Musa.
There's so many things.
I don't want to hear from George Musser. I want to hear from Einstein.
There's so many
It
things
says
that could be
Einstein
said about
said.
this
Don't tell me what George Musser said.
subject, but it's I know it's going to be a waste of time anyways. So
Gosh, go ahead, Shadow.
nah, that's fine.
Okay.
Look, end
So
of
you
the
don't
day.
have a citation. But we can assume that you're lying about that. We can disregard that statement. Einstein didn't say that. Okay, good. Thank you.
Well, Blue, look, at the end of the day, Newton talking about a force and Einstein's talking about bending of space-time. So I don't get what you mean, like citation. Don't you know about Einstein?
No, you brought it up. You brought up Einstein. Somebody asked you like, where's this?
Yeah, I was under the assumption that you all would know about it. If you don't know about it, then yeah, next week I'll do a presentation on that. But I thought you all knew who Einstein was.
You made a very definitive statement.
Yeah, I thought this was known.
You said Einstein said gravity is not a force. Now, where did he say that? When did he say it?
No, he says it's the bending of space-time. I thought everybody knew that. You're gonna have to read his paper, Blue. Or for the presentation that
Which
I'll
paper?
do. Paper on relativity. Or
All
relative.
right, let me Google Einstein's paper on relativity and stuff and see if I can find it.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to cite it. So.
This is why, again, the flat earthers go absolutely crazy at you. You know, you just play games. Who's Einstein? What did he say?
No, you
what
can't
did he
Google it when somebody holds you to your own
Oh,
standards.
we don't know who Einstein is. What's he all about?
No one said
Well,
that.
somebody
You were
holds
playing
you.
games. You said you heard Einstein say that gravity isn't a force and you have no backing for the claim.
Yeah, because he said it's the bending of space-time.
Again, when did he say it? Give me a quote.
19 around them time.
Ah, okay. Give me the quote.
Look at the paper. The paper.
Read the paper. Which paper?
Einsteinian's relativity.
Where is that paper?
On Google.
On Google.
Not that hard, guys. Level, you see what we're dealing with.
Space-time
Yeah, we're dealing with
construct
your
that is manifest.
Dealing with minds who are like, oh, who's Einstein? What did he say? I don't understand. No, I mean, this is your science. You're supposed to know all
I
of
found
it.
an evidence, guys. Here's the link in the chat. This is evidence that Einstein said, quote unquote, not said, gravity is a force. Enjoy.
Ah, well, yeah, that's
Well,
in the
you
paper.
see- You see, Kimbo, there's two
There you
types of
go,
relativity.
ladies and gentlemen. You see, it's not that hard. Everybody knows about this. What is wrong with you, bald earthers? You take steps backward.
Yes, that Einstein said that gravity is a force.
No, it says gravity is not
No,
a force.
Gravity is a force. It's in his papers. Google it.
It's not
Is he
a
mourning
force.
here?
According to general theory of relativity, gravity is not a force. It's
But
a
in Einstein's
consequence.
Gravity is a force. Just Google the papers.
No,
Type in
according to general
Einstein-
relativity. Who made general relativity? Einstein.
Who made it? No one made it.
Yeah, he made it in his
existing.
mind. He made it up in his mind, yes. Of course he made it up. He made it. So the idea is that it's not force. See?
But he said that it is a force.
Are you
It's in
listening,
his
Conspiracy Cat?
papers.
This is what we would teach the next
Just
gen here, right? We would teach them
No,
the
I
truth.
thought he said you just treating it as a force for the calculation.
Yeah, you can treat it like a force, but it doesn't mean it is a force. Now, I'm just letting our conspiracy cats know this is the kind of thing that we educate people on. Not silly question on
You guys are so knowledgeable.
whatever they were. We're going to say, hey, if they're going to say there's a force, we're going to ask for that practical demonstration. And obviously they can't provide that other than an equation.
No.
No? No? What no?
Hey, Chemo.
Like a...
You have a salad spinner or ever seen one work?
Sure.
Centrifuge force isn't a force.
Oh, look. I'm not getting into all these other aspects. We're looking at the claim of the heliocentric.
Okay, you can't, because that'll break you.
It's material.
He uses
But
a salad spinner.
works.
Yeah, you got a container
Suppose
there.
he's a salad spinner.
Do that without the container.
If you want to be very specific,
I heard it.
then Einstein said it's not a force, but or a proper force.
Care
But you can
package.
still call it a force.
Here's my care package. Thank you, Gummy. The care
There is a
package.
difference.
Care package.
But that's
is
not
landed.
the same, Keeman. That's not the same of what you're saying, which is he said it's not a force. He said it's not a proper force.
Yeah, thank you. Care package just landed. Thank you, Gummy, for that. See, information's just landed. Now, your side, go up to date with it's not a force. Think of it as a force, but it's not a force. Now that leaves Conspiracy Cats and his problem. Because if there was no force, and he's saying there was no container, then where does the pressure come from?
If there's no force, how do I get the water out of my salad?
Yeah.
Get the water.
Yeah, friction from your hand, from the salad spinner to the fucking water. It's friction. It's energy that you're putting in.
Simple stuff. You guys ask the most simple.
Well, maybe not friction exactly, but
Right, done. Tyler.
maybe
Easy.
not. But it's energy that you input to the system.
Exactly.
Is it water
Contact-
or is it
contact
condensed
forces?
time crystals?
Easily worked
What is
out.
friction at the basic level but electromagnetic interaction? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, this stuff is worked out. And
Yeah, it's easily worked out. Centrifugal force isn't an actual force.
look, at the end of the day,
As a force.
no gravity, not energy work required to hold down the atmosphere. Right? You need change. If you're claiming there is pressure, I'm not claiming there's pressure. If you're saying there is pressure, well, let's go with it. Where does it come from? Conspiracy Cats is very confused. How is he teaching? I'm not trying to be rude. How on earth are you teaching when you're asking how does the gas around the person create pressure? Like the container.
How does the water
They're going to
get out
laugh
of
their
my
heads
salad?
off at this, Conspiracy Cats guys. When they hear you say, well, the container's miles away, how does the gas in the middle get the pressure or the acceleration? Or when it hits the person? Comical. Because an object in motion will remain in motion until it's affected by another force. You should know that.
Yes.
Are you saying
There
there's
you go.
nothing in between the dome and the person?
No, so let's say
No,
a
but he just
particle.
said that objects in motion stay in motion, so gas will stay in motion unless acted upon by a force.
Exactly. So
Yeah. So,
the gas. So the gas.
The gas is in motion, and when it hits the surface, there is pressure.
There you go. Welcome to the closed system.
No, just all you need is gas that is moving.
In an
At a
enclosed.
surface.
In an enclosed system.
No.
What? How does
No.
it? How does it? Where do you get your acceleration from?
What acceleration? The gas is in motion.
Where does that motion come from?
From its mass. Jesus Christ.
Mass causes acceleration.
Chemo.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Temperature.
Because it's fucking heavy.
Stop being silly, Tal. So
Well,
the gases
what else
that
would it
the gases that are hitting the gases that are hitting the person in
Oh,
motion.
sorry, it's a bucket unicorn shit. Is that better?
How?
Well, why ask a stupid question?
Right. So we're
Well,
just
that's-
clearing
that's
up that.
the thing.
that
There is no fault. Gases are
Hang
created.
on.
Conspiracy
All
Cat
at
said
motion when they're
that the
created.
gases around the person is under pressure. So how would that happen without a force or a container?
No, it didn't say that,
That's
Chemo.
right.
Oh, you didn't say the gas was under pressure. You didn't listen to a word I said whatsoever. What I said was that the gas particles around the person would strike the person, bounce off the person, right? And that would result in the person experiencing a pressure. I didn't say the particles themselves were under pressure. That don't make any sense.
So where did
I said the person would experience the pressure.
how? Where does the
Going away
acceleration?
again.
So the question was, where does the acceleration come from? For them to hit the person in the first place?
Changing direction is an acceleration, right? When we did this yesterday, we talked about force equals change of momentum divided by time. That's exactly the same as force equals mass times acceleration. The particles strike the person, they bounce off. That is an acceleration. They were traveling in one direction, they're now traveling in the opposite direction. That is what's resulting in the force on the person experiencing the pressure, right? But I have got work to do now, and I have wasted enough of my time with you, so I'm just going to listen.
All right, you get back to work there. But look, anyway, so you just heard that, yeah? You need that surface without the walls, because he knows this already. Without any walls, any surfaces.
No, you don't need the wall. He didn't say you need the walls of the
He
container.
just said surfaces.
The surface.
He's talking about the surface of the person, Chemo.
Yes, and then
Yeah, if it doesn't hit the person doesn't experience it.
No.
Doesn't mean it's not there.
No. Look, the particle will hit the wall, and then it will accelerate on its journey. Now, obviously, if it hits a person, that is going to send it in another direction. That's what
Accelerate.
Kimo, when something hits something, will it shoot off in the other direction with more energy than it had before, or less energy than it had before when it hit something?
It should be the same, right?
Not necessarily.
So in a perfect collision or perfect, is it inelastic?
It should be the equal and opposite. But look, anyway.
No, hold on. Either way, if you have the equal amount of energy, then it hasn't accelerated in. It hasn't gotten a.
It's not going to slow down, is it?
A
It's just going to
change
keep
in
going around in the
acceleration.
box.
Sorry. Yeah.
In the box.
I am butchering my words, but either way, it's not moving faster than it was before.
I didn't say that, did I? You've said that.
But that's what you need for it to have done.
No.
You need for it to move faster afterwards than before.
No. Whatever.
Yes, it has accelerated so that it moves in a different direction, but that acceleration only did enough for the same velocity in a different direction. But what you need is a different velocity.
No, look, we're talking about the pressure around the person. Now, saying some strange things here. The idea is that the particle whenever it hits the person, it has to have hit something else already to get the acceleration. Now that can only come from, unless you're saying there's two people standing there, and then the particles are just bouncing off the two people back and forth, and then that's where the pressure comes. Yes, you've got two surfaces, but the gas itself as a whole is not bouncing off walls. Aspects, unless
For the most part, it's bouncing off itself.
No, it can't bounce off itself.
Mostly bounce off.
Well, sure it can, because it's a bunch of little particles, and those particles bounce off other particles.
No, that's the idea that they're bouncing little balls. They're not bouncing little spherical objects.
But they are.
Well, no, they're generally not spheres. Most of them are more like barbells, because it's like into or O2.
Yeah, but they're still not bouncing little. But we can go with that. But the idea is that if they are bouncing little particles.
So none of the particles are bouncing off each other? Is that what you're saying? None of the particles are bouncing off each other?
Gas in the air, freely moving around in all directions.
Freely moving, and it's never touching any of the other molecules in the air. How the hell does that happen?
What do you mean?
Impossible.
Form together, they don't bounce.
They don't interact with each other? I mean,
they just merge together like a bubble.
In the air.
Have you ever heard of mean free path, Chemo?
No.
You ever heard of a thing called mean free path?
No.
No, of course not.
He's having memory problems
again. About these things.
Yesterday, you can't answer anything like that. That's a little more.
Is it useful to hear about these things? It's not useful.
I'm going to look up mean free path for you. It is useful.
I only know things that are useful. A lot of what you know is not useful.
It destroys your bullshit argument. Hang on a second. I'm gonna look up, give you a citation, something you can't seem to fucking do.
Yeah, but I only look up things and research things if it's useful and we can move forward with it. If it's just some idea about some calculations that's not useful, well, what's the point?
Well, calculations are useful.
Well, what calculation?
Well, the one he's going to look up.
Well, let's find out. That's what we're going to find out now. If it's useful, then we can learn it and study it and use it. But if it's not useful, which what Conspiracy Cats is demonstrating, all of his questions are useless. The people in the chat in his video are telling us all, well, I wouldn't know those questions. I'd have to write them down. These questions are not useful. They don't prove the shape of the Earth. His own ball earthers are telling him that. People who have studied physics are telling him in his own video, hey, those questions are not questions that are useful. Okay? So we're looking for useful things, and yeah, we can learn anything. We can learn anything we want if there is a value to it.
How much monologuing are you going to do right now?
Pointing out that we waste time learning things that are not useful.
Hey, Chemo, you almost hit on something there. If your molecules aren't bumping into each other, are they each other?
Are they what?
Are they passing through each other? Hey, that'd be interesting.
No, they're merging together. Like two water droplets. They just merge. They don't bounce off each other, right? Unless
each other. Have you ever seen rain and wind stuff? When there's water in the air and they're moving around, they bump into each other.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but the raindrops become bigger and bigger. That's how you get bigger raindrops.
Okay, once the rain is on it, okay, it's no touching any wall or anything, and it hits you on the head.
Are you breaking up, or is that me?
Sorry.
I think when the raindrop is on its way and it hits you in the head, where's that come from when it hits you? And does it on you?
Your mic, your mic is a bit.
Was it his mic? Oh, I thought it was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, just refresh, bro.
Well, I get what you're saying. You're saying, where does the rain get the pressure from? This is just water pressure, Grenade. Water pressure. Hits the surface, and you'll create pressure. When that raindrop's falling through the air, it has no weight. Can't weigh it. Yes, it's weightless. Yet it hits the surface for you to register any kind of weight there. Yeah, it's like the atmosphere. You need the container, weigh it. Can't weigh the atmosphere without the right, or gas, sorry, without the container. Okay?
Here's a question, since well, you're talking about pressure, but somebody brought up raindrops. So Chemo, the question is to you, like, explain the process of like how rain happens.
Oh, it's just like a water cycle, clouds, more dense. So you
stop right there. Becomes more dense. Then what?
Then the medium. Then it's.
So would you agree that the more dense, the more heavier?
No. Because remember, it goes up when it's light. When it's less dense, it goes up, forms clouds, becomes more dense, and comes back down. That's
how loud?
Grenade, your microphone's awful. I'd like to hear what you're saying, but you're just breaking up.
No, it's not his mic, it's his internet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mike, whatever, you're breaking up.
I'm out in the country and I got bad.
I can hear almost what you're trying to say. You're asking about the rain. I think I answered that there, right?
Well, how much cloud weigh?
Sorry?
How much weight is there in one cloud?
Oh, again, you wouldn't know that unless you had it in some type of container or surface.
But the rain or the water that's in the cloud has weight, right?
Only when it's on a surface.
Well, it has the weight whether it's on a surface or not.
How are you going to weigh it? How are you going to weigh it without the surface?
No, it has weight. It just
weightless. You can see it floating.
Yeah, but it's sitting on the air, right? It's literally sitting on the air.
No, it's just a collection of like water or gas that's so light, it forms a cloud.
Well, it's like an airplane going over your head. Some of that weight of the airplane is actually being imparted upon you. You know.
How so?
Well, because the all the air between you and the airplane is in a way connected to each other by the fact they're bouncing off of each other.
Whenever a plane goes over our heads, you're pushed down a little bit, yeah?
What's holding the plane up if the air isn't connected in some weird way to the ground as well as to the bottom of the aircraft? What the hell's holding the plane up?
Tell us.
It's certainly not speed.
Propellers. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Speed has nothing to do with that.
How does it get it to go up? How's the plane get lift if the air isn't, like connected to each other?
Pushing off the air.
Right, and the air is pushing off of other air.
Well, I don't know about that, but the rocket, the helicopter is pushing, or the plane is pushing off the air.
And the air is pushing off the air all the way to the ground.
The air's pushing off the air.
Yeah, imagine that. It doesn't need a container. The air itself is its own container. How about that?
Okay.
Wow, I heard you laugh, so you know that you're right. Oh, wow.
But you're saying then, you're saying I can take a can of Coke, open that can of Coke, and the gases will not leave the can because it will be able to contain itself.
Why would the gases not leave the can? You just created an opening in the can.
Yeah. So you just said, according to your idea, is that the gases in that open system can hold themselves down.
The funny thing is that there is gas inside the can, even if it's open.
No, but the gases will leave the can. Why don't they stay in it? Why doesn't it stay fizzy? Why does it go flat if all the gases are leaving? According to what you've just said, the gases should hold, stay where they are.
But all the gases escape, though. Like there's still gas in there.
No. So in that
your
can,
theory about no container just falls apart.
In that can, you've got gas up on top of gas in the can. So you open the can. Now you've got more gas from the atmosphere pushing down on the can, and the gas in the can than on the gas in the can. But why does it go up?
The gas can is at a higher pressure than the gas that's outside.
What? When you open the can?
So the can, the fact that the gas inside the can is at a higher pressure, and then you open the can, it goes towards the lower pressure.
No, you open the can now, yeah, and the gas at the bottom of the can will leave the can. Why? Why doesn't it just stay at the bottom? If you're saying gas can hold gas.
Well, the atmosphere can't hold the higher pressure in the can.
No, the can's open now.
I understand, and that's why the gas is leaving the can of pop.
Exactly. It's filling the available space, right?
It's going a higher pressure is going to a lower pressure.
Exactly.
Right. The atmosphere is only 14.7 pounds per square inch. How much pressure in a can of pop?
What? Once it's open, no, but it's not when it's in the can. Once you've opened the gas, and once you've opened the can,
then once you open, now the pressure that's inside the can can experience more area. Okay, and it literally leaps out of the hole and tries to fill the whole atmosphere.
So in that can, is there more than 14.7 psi?
All it has to do is be 1 pound more.
Oh, that's
it's way more than 1 pound more. You know, when they put beer, the beer is hot. And then they put it on, and the beer cools. And the cooling of the beer actually makes sure that sucker stays sealed.
Yeah,
Renee,
but the gas
Chemo made an interesting statement during that exchange. I don't know if you caught it. Would you like to find out what Chemo meant by the atmosphere pressing or the air pressing on the can?
Yeah. Well, how does the air press on the can? Yeah, that's interesting.
There is no pressure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. According to you, there's
Pressing on the can is pressure.
Yeah, I don't understand how he thinks that just because there's a wall somewhere, just any wall, any surface, that somehow that surface imparts a pressure onto the air itself.
No, that's what I'm asking you. If there is pressure above the can,
giving that impression that
there is pressure above the can once you open it. How does the gas leave the can?
Yeah, but the pressure above it is less than the pressure that's in the can. The higher pressure is always going to go to a lower pressure.
Exactly. So why then does the atmosphere then not go to the lower pressure?
Well, the lower pressure is the atmosphere.
No. The gas here on Earth...
Answer the question now.
The can is the higher pressure.
Yeah, that's fine. So the gas here on Earth is higher than space.
Right.
Why doesn't the gas go into the lower pressure?
Well, it attempts to.
Yeah, all the gas should have gone by now.
Oh,
there's some.
Why doesn't the 14.7 equalize and go into the 13.7, to the 12.7, to the 5.7, so on and so on?
No. We've just
answer that. You'll answer your question.
You've just heard from Grenade, high pressure to low pressure.
Right.
Yep.
Another force is acting on it. In this case, there is one. It's called gravity, Chemo.
Yeah, that magical thing is the one thing that you just will not accept. I don't know why you won't accept it.
Yeah. So you're saying magic keeps the gas from going off into space?
It doesn't.
No, I didn't say magic. I said gravity keeps it.
Yeah, gravity. That's the answer, right?
Even your flat Earth needs.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so let's take our can and use the bending of space-time to keep the gas in the can. How do we do that?
No, let's take our... No.
No, why not?
Use the acceleration of gravity to do it.
Yeah, but how do we control and manipulate the bending of space-time to keep the gas in that can without the lid?
Objects tend to one direction until acted upon by another force.
I get it. I'm not arguing that. I'm saying you're saying the answer is gravity, yeah?
All right.
That's all.
You can place a lid on it on top of the container that's heavy enough to hold the pressure, and that will be gravity pulling down on that lid.
Welcome to the enclosed Earth, Curve.
Containing it. So there you go.
So you hear that, Grenade? Curve says put a lid on it. It needs a lid.
Oh, yeah, and it needs a straw, too, and some ice.
No, the gas needs a lid. You gonna drink gas with a straw?
Well, you breathe it, don't you?
So look, the idea is that you've just said high to low. Curve just says it needs a lid. What are we even talking about here?
I said you could put a lid on it. You wanted to use gravity. So we use gravity to contain it by holding down the lid. That's all I said.
Gravity's our lid.
Yeah. So how then do we put the bending of space-time?
Well, if you want to have differential pressure.
No. The gas in the can, we want to keep it in the can.
If you want a huge pressure differential in a given area, you're going to have to contain it somehow.
Of course, we know that already, but we're talking about the gas, which you said is being held down by the bending of space-time.
No, we didn't say that.
He thinks that gravity, by definition, is the bending of space-time, and he's crediting that. No, I'm clarifying that's what he means.
How does the bending of space-time hold down the gas?
Thank you.
Grenade head.
Answer it this time.
Got this gas in the can. We're going to remove the lid and replicate what happens on Earth with space-time.
So you're relating gravity to the bending of space-time. Is that what you're doing?
That's what the current science is, the bending of space-time.
There you go, guys.
So you disagree with Einstein. Who's brave enough to disagree with Einstein here?
Chemo.
Blue.
Nothing relativistic about molecules.
Blue, you disagree with Einstein. Why?
Nothing relativistic about gas molecules. They're not moving fast enough, and they're certainly not large enough.
What's not? We're asking how the gas in the can can
simply
remain in the
revert
can.
to the same thing Einstein reverts to. We'll just take out. All right, if you want to take the field equations, we can go down to the weak field limit. You get the Newton's equations.
Mm-hmm.
Are you happy? A force.
I don't know what any of that has to do
We have
with
the
the gas
acceleration of
in the
gravity,
can.
little g, and we have a molecule of gas that has mass.
Mm-hmm.
The acceleration acts on that mass. There's a force as a result of it.
Okay. So look, what we're looking at is that your claim is that the gas is held on by the bending of space-time. So how can we replicate?
Oh, I didn't say that. You're the one that keeps saying that, and you're wrong. We're not saying you need to relate it to the bending of space-time because it is non-relativistic. You don't need to go to the bending of space-time. It's all going to go away. It's all going to fall out.
Yeah, but
gas is not relativistic.
That's what gravity is the bending of
space-time. You know what
space-time.
that means?
Yeah, but gravity is the bending of space-time.
Understand that. Gravity.
Yeah, gravity
is in fact caused by the bending of space-time. That's a cause of it.
That's right.
It isn't the bending. It's what causes it.
No, the gas stays on the Earth because of the bending of space-time.
It stays on the Earth because of gravity, Chemo. You can play all these semantic fucking games you want to.
Semantics?
Not gonna work.
Semantics? We're talking about Einsteinian gravity. What are the semantics?
Chemo. Say gravity. It's all the same thing.
Yes, the bending of space-time. I know.
Or the attraction of mass.
We're going back in history, back in the scientific world, not forward.
Mass attracts mass. No, I don't have to go back in history, Chemo. I'm not going back in history. Einstein fully agreed with everything Newton said.
But what?
You can't show me where he doesn't. I can show you where
Einstein
he says he does.
He didn't even see outer space, man, when he was guessing all this stuff, though, man.
I can show you where Einstein says he agrees with what Newton did. See it?
They're still on the ground, though, you know? They're just guessing about the planet things. Like, if they could have had access, can you imagine, like, what they would have wanted done with the satellites and stuff if they had access to them? Like, come on, man. The probes and all this. They would fucking be like, are you kidding me? It's just 100 years, all this technology, bro, and they...
So I don't know what's happened. I mean, in this modern day, the modern world, the new current science is the bending of space-time.
There you go. I posted it in the chat for you, Chemo.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that you can think of gravity as a force.
That's fine. That's all we need to do.
But it's not actually an apparent force.
That's all we need to do is think of it as a force, just like we think of centrifugal force as a force.
That's great. So how can we use this?
Why can we think of it as a force, Blue? Is it because it's acting like one?
Yeah, exactly like one.
Acts like one, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Just like you act like a tough guy, curved. But are you actually?
It's not like just making something up and going with it.
Yes, it is.
There's a reason why you can treat it like a force. And we're talking about a specific paradigm framework here in general relativity. That it's not considered a force.
Yes.
There are certain cases where gravity does not any longer act like a force and does not behave properly. Relativity is all about.
You can think of it
Things
as a
go
force.
really,
like
really,
I said,
really fast.
There's no issue with you guys thinking
really,
of
really big. No longer gravity no longer acts the same way.
Look, I mean, we are in that kind of day and age where we can think about anything, something that's whatever they want it to be, right? But in terms of science, scientifically, you cannot demonstrate or experiment with bending of space-time.
Either way, when you guys were talking about the to gas,
Chemo.
like in a container, and you were saying the word gravity. Chemo was equating it to the bending of space-time because gravity, by his definition, gravity equals bending of space-time in his mind. That's all. That's what Chemo's playing these fucking games here.
Well, no, it's
Who
not,
the fuck's gone into ASMR mode?
not actually a game or anything like that. I'm pointing out that the current science is the bending of space. Newtonian was in 19.
Was not superseded. Read the citation I put in the chat just a minute ago.
Well, mass
Read the
cannot.
next to the last paragraph. You want me to read it to you? The very next to the last paragraph in that citation. This is by Einstein himself, written to the London Times. Let no one suppose, however, that the mighty work of Newton can really be superseded by this or any other theory. Is meaning Newton's great and lucid ideas will retain their unique significance for all time as the foundation of our whole modern conceptual structure in the sphere of natural philosophy. That's words straight out of Einstein's mouth. You've yet to quote
philosophy.
a fucking thing, Chemo.
Philosophy. We understand it's philosophy.
That was the word they used for it in those days, Chemo.
It's fine.
Jesus
It's just
Christ.
philosophy, Blue. Nothing to argue that. They're
Language
talking
changes a little bit over time.
He's talking
it was
about
called
Newton's-
natural philosophy. Physics was referred to as that, Chemo.
He's
I
talking.
don't fucking care what you think. That's the way it is.
Talking about Newton's philosophy, the idea of gravity, the idea of the globe.
Don't try to twist the words, Chemo. They're as plain as the balls on a tall dog.
I just heard it. Yeah, natural philosophy.
If Einstein really said that's funny.
Read it again, then, Blue.
Wait a second.
There was nothing there that indicated gravity. That's the purpose, the point.
I mean,
here.
there's nothing there. That's what he's talking about is gravity, Chemo.
No, he's talking about the philosophy, the ideas of the Earth being a ball.
Newton, what?
So the idea is that the Earth is a ball. Let's keep that idea going, and let's not throw that idea away. That's what he's saying.
Not talking about the Earth being a ball, Chemo.
Yes.
He didn't say anything about the Earth being a ball.
He's just talking about philosophy. No big deal here.
Let no one suppose, however, that the mighty work of Newton can really be superseded by this or any other theory.
Right.
He's talking about relativity.
No. Talking about philosophy.
So he says, Einstein himself says he didn't supersede Newton.
In philosophy, it's still a
Fucking
ball.
stop saying that.
They were deciding is the Earth. They didn't
Stop
know if the
saying
Earth was a ball or not back then, right?
Let no one suppose, however, that the mighty work of Newton can really be superseded by this or any other theory.
Right.
Straight out of Einstein's.
Yes,
This
the
is what the man
philosophy
himself
Blue
said.
with a philosophy.
He did not. You're trying to twist it, Chemo, and it's not going to work.
Look, Newton had some good ideas about philosophy. Einstein's like, okay, let's not disregard that. And they just worked on another idea, yeah. But it's still a ball in their mind.
This is very interesting in psychology. It's like studying the brain.
Back then, they didn't know for sure what the shape of the Earth was. These guys were trying to figure it out. Einstein's like, no, let's keep it going. Let's keep using the ball, the globe idea. I'm going to introduce another idea for gravity.
It truly is amazing, Chemo, how you dodged the evidence there.
Yeah, we just heard it. You just read it out. The philosophy. I'm happy with it.
Heard the one word you wanted to hear, that's all.
That's what it ended with.
Is this the way your mind works, Chemo?
So, you know, the idea that the gas grenade, if you're still here, you just said high pressure to low pressure. It's obviously natural occurrence. And if we weren't contained, then the gas would go off into. And that's the kind of thing that we will we'll put out there. You guys have ideas.
Natural philosophy. Can you define it, please?
Goodness sake, of course I can. Ask me again once again.
Okay, then do it.
Very easy question.
What does it mean? Same thing as physics, isn't it?
Well, you know, not really.
Oh,
It's not really a
really? What is it
definition,
then?
Chemo. You said that you could define that, and that's really not a definition.
What really is it, Chemo?
Well, I mean, again, what they've tried is to say, yeah, it is similar, but the idea is it's still philosophy today.
Can you define it, Chemo? You said yes, so could you please do that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the study of the natural world, but it's not science. It's not science.
Physics, in other words.
There's no
You could say physics. Same thing.
well,
We'll look up physics and see what that says.
maybe, but there's no
I
observations.
got an idea. Let's look up physics.
There's no experiment with this philosophy. That's the fundamental difference.
Oh, you're trapped, aren't you, Chemo?
No, because you need science. And this is before, all this philosophy was before the development of modern science. So they used philosophy before we were able to actually experiment with things, right?
No. No.
Yes, yes. That's exactly what it means here.
Where? Could you quote that? That's natural philosophy is something without the experiments? Because it looks like you're making that up right now.
No. This was what was studied before the development of modern science.
Well, yeah. So it was before. Well, something should be before, and I'm pretty sure there was something before the natural philosophy. Just simple.
No. Before science, it was just philosophy. Yeah.
Before which science? Could you repeat that once again?
For modern science. Yeah.
Modern science, yes. So it doesn't look like it's something that was before the experimentation.
Before modern science, it was philosophy.
Where did you get that part about the experiments?
That's the definition of science. That's where I got it from. The definition.
Why would they put that word modern science if it's the same as science?
Because you also have pseudoscience.
Yeah, why wouldn't they just say that natural philosophy is pseudoscience? Why would they put it as something that was before the modern science?
Because what they thought was science back then was just philosophy. So just like you just heard with Newton and Einstein, Newton had not science, he had philosophy.
No, Chemo, that's not what he said.
Yeah, but it says before
Just making up
the
stuff.
development of modern science, that was philosophical study. That's how they did it. I think that's a wandering star. I wonder, I think that the sun is this far away. Oh yes, let me postulate the size of the earth. Things like that.
Yeah, it was all theoretical back then. They didn't have a clue about half of it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So what he's saying is that Newton's philosophy was actually right in his mind. He's saying,
he was arguing a lot with Newton, was Einstein, because
he was saying that
he disagreed on many different things with him.
He's saying your idea, your philosophy actually turned out to be right in his mind, Einstein's mind. So we're going to keep that. We're going to keep your idea, and we're going to work on it, and we're going to come up with something to explain how things work in this model.
When was the beginning of the science, in your opinion?
Oh, science has always been around. It's just how people go about attaining.
Yeah, but you said that natural philosophy is something that was before the modern science.
No. I'm talking about.
Yeah. You just said that. When you were reading the definition, you said it was something that was before the modern science. So, what period of time we're talking about now?
Oh,
the modern science. It's something that started.
Talking about people like Aristotle, Thales of
who was before Aristotle or the
Well, the
Newton's
father of
laws?
natural philosophy was Thales of the 6th century BCE. Yeah. So we only know of him through later accounts.
So once again, Chemo, Aristotle, it was someone who represented the science or the natural philosophy.
Well, I mean, again, in this modern world, we have Jacob Zabrelia of the University of
Chemo, you
Padua.
don't have to read me Wikipedia. Could you just answer my question?
No, this is knowledge that's retained.
Yeah,
Yes?
so Chemo, yes, but that knowledge even can't help you answer my question. So when you say Aristotle, it was someone who represented science or natural philosophy, in your opinion?
Oh, Aristotle, he comes with logic, observations, and...
Chemo, did you understand the question?
Of course.
So you have to pick either science, either natural philosophy. I don't need biography of Aristotle, so...
Okay.
So Aristotle is someone who represented natural philosophy or science?
I'm just telling you now.
Yeah, tell me.
Okay, so he combines logic with observations to make a general casual claim.
So, what's the answer to my question? Chemo, can you choose A or B? A, natural philosophy,
He uses
B,
natural
science.
philosophy.
Okay, so when did the modern science start? Like, when was the beginning of the science, in your opinion?
Modern science, I mean, again, I've just told you, around the 1500s. Yeah, hear me?
So Newton, it was already a modern science because it was like 200 years after the beginning of the modern science. Yes.
No, but he wasn't using modern science. He was still using philosophy. Like today, people can still use philosophy, right? Even in the midst of modern
bullshit word games, Chemo.
In the midst of real science, people are still using philosophy, right?
Still call it natural philosophy if you want to. It's all the same thing, Chemo. You're just playing a fucking word game.
It's without experiment.
You're playing a word game. You know
this
it.
It's not a game. This is simply
Look, that's not even what we're talking about. Said Einstein superseded Newton. Einstein himself said he didn't supersede Newton.
No.
Stop trying to move the goalpost around, Chemo. And give up the straw man, okay? You've thrown enough of them out there already. You don't need any more.
Well, the idea is that we don't have any experiments to support the idea that mass attracts mass. Okay?
Yes, we do, Chemo. I've got one right out here in the garage.
Yeah, we know the cause to your effect.
Want to see it? Yeah, we do.
We know the cause. Of course, it's going to move outside of the vacuum.
We do.
Obvious.
Sure, we do. The actual cause of it is the bending of space-time. It looks like a force, though, and I measure it as a force.
Yeah, but in a vacuum, it doesn't work.
It does work, Chemo, and I'm tired of you saying that bullshit. You need to shut the fuck up or just leave.
Can you provide an experiment to show it in a vacuum?
It's been done in a vacuum. It's been done outside a vacuum.
That is a false claim.
Claims to. It seems like you're the one who
That
has
is a
to provide
false claim,
something.
Blue.
Why aren't you?
Exactly,
Why aren't you doing
Slacker.
something, Chemo?
Exactly.
Sorry?
Why don't you prove this, Chemo?
Chemo
That's your
can't play
assertion.
by his own rules.
We've already done it. BioGeo's already done
for
so.
a long time, Chemo. Get off your fucking ass and go do it in a vacuum and prove to us that it doesn't do it, that it doesn't work. That's your contention. You
We've
prove
already done it.
it. You haven't.
We deleted the video
saying
though,
you do a
because
fucking thing.
it was embarrassing, so we deleted it. And we're not going to do it again because we don't want any more embarrassment.
Chemo.
Did anyone manage to save the video before we deleted it?
Childish,
Yeah,
Rick.
actually, I think I've got it.
I think you got it. I hope so, but try not to put it out too soon because it is a bit embarrassing for us, you know? No movement.
My favourite bit of this, Chemo, was when you accidentally a moment ago said casual when you meant to say causal. When you said the investigating the casual relationships between
Causal, yes.
Oh, no, yeah, but you clearly said casual, which
Yeah,
shows
man,
so clearly that you're reading it off a website. upside.
Yeah,
I mean, good on you.
misread
It's a
your
good.
wiki
It's a
card.
good grift.
No, I was reading that part. Yeah, I was reading that part. Yeah, I got the screen far away from me. So,
Misread the
yeah.
wiki article.
Investigating the casual relationships between
causal.
things, like it goes up to rocks and be like, "Hey, what do you reckon about trees, mate?
I
Oh
need my
yeah,
glasses.
we're okay."
Gotta put my glasses on.
Hello,
Yeah.
tree. What's happening?
Didn't have my specs on. Yeah, screen's far away. You're right.
Yeah, but you're pretending that you were answering.
Not that part. I already answered the previous question.
I think you just fucking winged it all, mate.
No. Some of that is retained. Some of it was retained. Some of it we've got to do a bit more research.
Don't worry about eggshells, Chemo. He's just in a mood looking to shit on you.
Right.
It was good. It was good.
Like I just said, I've got the computer far away from. It's difficult to read without my glasses, right?
Yeah, but it was you pretending that you did know the answer to things.
Oh no, not to that part. That bit I was looking at. Yeah, I did a bit more research.
Yeah, it was. It was a
Couldn't
bit
see your script.
Really in-depth research this time, huh, Chemo?
So look,
Yeah,
back
an
to you,
extra little 3
Blue.
minutes on it.
Unfortunately, Blue, of course, outside of the vacuum, it's going to move all over the place, right? But inside the vacuum, which was...
No, Chemo. I can show it sitting absolutely dead still for days.
No, it will
Video
move
of
outside. It will eventually move.
Oh, it
because
does not move.
It will move.
It does
outside.
not move.
It
does
will.
not move. It does not, Chemo.
It doesn't move outside the vacuum.
It's not in a vacuum, and it will sit there and not move.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your experiment?
I don't get you saying, no, it doesn't move.
Where's the experiment?
We deleted it
And
because it was a bit embarrassing, man. But hopefully Blue saved it for us.
So you did an experiment where you controlled for your independent variable, which is the air.
Yeah, so we removed the air, and we had no movement. We had no movement, man.
There was movement. I saw it on the video.
All right, prove it. Post it.
Prove it? I mean, yeah. Post it.
Not usually like you, mole man. Usually on point. Tired.
Can you post the video so there was no movement to validate your?
I just told you we deleted it. It was embarrassing.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it showed no movement, so we're like, oh gosh, we can't put that out there.
It did move, Chemo. Stop lying.
Unless someone saved the
Just a
video,
lie.
mole man. We need someone who
I
screen
saved the
grabbed
video,
it. You know.
But I don't have to prove your point. You have to
Hopefully,
prove
someone screen grabbed the experiment. You know.
No, but it's your experiment.
Yeah, I've just told you the results. It didn't move, so we deleted it. We're embarrassed.
I saw the results and it moved.
Did you record that?
No, you recorded it and I watched the recording.
Okay, but it didn't move.
It did move.
Prove it.
Prove it?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you delete the video?
We deleted
So you
the
were
video, yeah.
scared and deleted the
So you
video.
could have been seeing things, right?
You mean it was so important?
Probably
that you
delusional,
didn't
mole
make a
man. You're
copy
just
of it,
seeing
Chemo?
things, right? How do we know you're not just
What in the
seeing
world,
things?
Chemo? This is critical to your argument. This was your argument. If it didn't move, why didn't you make the copy of the video, Chemo?
Because once
Here's your copy of it.
Because once he knocked it, it was game over.
This is your argument. It's not ours. It's yours. It would have been horribly important to you to have a copy of something that shows it doesn't move. You didn't make a copy of it?
Yeah, because he knocked it.
We saw it move.
No, you never.
Yeah, we all saw it move.
Well, prove it then.
Prove your claim. No,
It's not up to us to prove that. It was your claim that it wouldn't move. We saw it move. Now you show us the video.
You
that
are
proves it didn't
seeing
move.
things.
Here's your video, Chemo.
You're seeing things.
If you didn't make a copy of it, that's your fault, not ours.
How do we know you're not delusional?
Because we were watching the same video.
And nothing happened.
One of you said that it didn't move, and there's many of us saying that it moved. So you're the...
But you can't prove it though.
So it looks like you're the
Blue,
one who
you
is
said your
delusional.
torsion
Chemo.
balance will sit there for days, not moving. In yours.
Exactly. He messed up curved.
How did you tame the ether, Blue?
Curved.
I didn't
no,
do
Blue
anything at
messed
all.
up.
Didn't have to. I don't have any ether in my garage.
It's like you have power over it. You stop the swirly swirl.
I don't know.
So,
I don't know
look.
why
Yeah,
I have these special powers.
Well, man.
I don't have any problem with ether.
You disproved ether with it because it didn't move. It was stationary, so there was no ether.
Oh no, excuse me. Yeah. So look, Mole Man, you're saying that you saw it move, but you can't verify it, right?
Yeah, I did verify it when the video was there.
What video?
The one of the Cavendish that Biodual did.
Let's have a look then.
The video was
You need to
deleted.
show us that it didn't move.
See, the problem you have, Mole Man, is that once again,
No,
you're in
you
a position
have a
that you can't defend, right?
The evidence for your claim. You said that it's the
You're
air.
in a position you
As
can't
usual.
defend, Chemo. It was your claim that it wouldn't move in a vacuum. You made that claim, and we all saw it move in a vacuum. Now you're claiming it didn't move. Where is the video showing us that it didn't move, Chemo?
As
Your
usual,
responsibility,
you
not
make
ours.
it easy for us, right? By deleting the evidence. Way to go, ballers.
Why didn't you make a copy of it, Chemo? Can't you make
Because
a copy
once
of a
he
video?
knocked it, it was all over.
If it was that important to you, if you really thought you had won the argument, why didn't you make the copy?
What for? What am I going to show? Look at these things not moving, guys. Wow.
Well, right now you need to prove to us it didn't move, and you can't do it, can you?
What we're going to show? Things
We all saw
keeping
it
still.
move.
That's a great one.
We saw it. We all saw it move, Chemo, and you can't prove it didn't.
He's got to do it again. He said he's going to do it again and try and hopefully
You lose, Chemo.
repeat
You
the
said
non-movement.
Biodual knocked it and it moved, right?
Sorry?
So it's mass that causes the motion.
There was no motion, unfortunately.
Oh, so it didn't move. Biodual.
I can show mine not move. I can show mine not moving for days. It's not the atmosphere causing it.
Yeah, if you put that in a vacuum,
did show
Blue,
it
then there will be
moving in
no
a vacuum.
movement whatsoever.
There was
In
no
vacuums,
movement,
they
Chemo.
don't
I've
move,
got
as we
days of
saw.
video showing it. I've got days of video proving it, Chemo.
Gosh, you've got to be so embarrassed with him deleting that, not ready to post the new ballers. Gosh. How awful is that? He's really put you guys in it, hasn't he? Dropped you in it.
No, he hasn't. It shouldn't have been done in the first place because it was your bullshit claim. You should have had to do it.
He's made you look like no, not lemons. Like ripe pineapples or something, right?
I'm sorry
you
that
wait
Bob
around
got
for 7
slicked in by
months.
you and your horseshit, Chemo.
You made you wait around
That
for
was a
7
positive
months to
claim you were
delete the
making. It
video.
was your responsibility to prove it.
Proper
It wasn't our
fruits. That's
responsibility
right,
to prove your claim, Chemo.
BioJules made you guys look so idiotic. It's unbelievable. Look, you're defending BioJules
Still
deletion.
remains.
Mole Man, you're defending.
He hasn't deleted Chemo, and it still remains your responsibility to prove.
Mole Man,
that
you're
mass
defending
does not
Bio's
attract mass in
deletion.
a vacuum.
His deletion, you're defending
It
it.
remains your responsibility.
I'm
Let
not
us know when
defending
you're
it.
done, Chemo.
No, you're
Just-
defending a deleted video.
You have no evidence of your claim that air causes the attraction.
Not now, we don't, because he deleted it.
Okay, so you have no evidence then. Why are you saying that air is the
Because
cause?
we had an experiment, he's deleted it.
No, you didn't have an experiment. Show us the evidence for it.
We have deleted it. It is no longer
did you
on
delete
the
it, Chemo?
internet.
So where is the air?
Did you delete it, Chemo?
There is no evidence of
did
mass
you delete
attracted
it,
mass
Chemo?
in a vacuum.
There is no evidence of air causing mass to attract mass, you dumb ass.
Yes, we can look at Blue's experiment and see that
And
the air.
there is not being, it's a controlled variable, not an independent variable, you retarded fuck.
You cannot control the air as a variable outside.
Why can't I not?
Guys, we're just going to have to mute the whole server to keep this up.
Yes.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah. So yeah,
yes.
have an effect.
Okay, so look, it's very simple, Mole Man. Blue's experiment was always going to move, always, because the atmosphere is moving around, and you put it inside a vacuum, which there is no air, there is no cause, and have no effect. Very simple, which we saw with that.
Blue, if the atmospheric pressure changes, does it affect the experiment?
Mole man, can you stop doing that
There is
robot
no.
voice?
I knew Woz was going to
I'm
do
not
that. I
doing it.
knew it. I
I'm just
knew it. I
talking
knew
about
it. I
robot.
knew
I don't
Woz,
do
I
the
can
robot.
read you like a book, man. I just knew that was coming. I think you were going to say it to me at first, but you said it to Mole.
Why would I say it to you, Spurs? You sound like an idiot.
Yeah.
Mole man sounds like the robot.
I just thought you were going to say it to me at first, but I knew that was coming.
Well,
Like,
then you can't read me like a book.
when we started talking, I
You
was
skip
going to say,
9
"All right,
pages.
stop talking like a robot, still," or something like.
So, did Marble have you? What
Marble,
happens
yeah.
in your experiment when the air pressure or the atmospheric pressure changes? Does it affect the results?
The atmospheric pressure. Where does the pressure come from?
Are you Big Blue or not?
There is no atmospheric pressure, Mama. Stop trying to play silly games.
There.
Atmospheric pressure requires a force. We know gravity is not a force. Been superseded by Einstein.
You were fucking with pressure pressing on the can, Chemo. You fucked up again.
The atmosphere then isn't
No. That's begging the question. As usual, I don't mind doing that. If
This is too easy. I'm not even going to bother with it.
Oh, that was in
I mean, how many times does Chemo need to get wrecked? Deny it, and we keep trying to do it.
Oh,
I don't get it.
clearly being
Chemo,
destroyed.
you just ruled out your independent variable. You said that there's no pressure, so the pressure doesn't cause the attraction.
No, the air movement, dude. Air movement.
Yep.
Mole man. So look, the air moves around freely. Temperature rises. Yes, this will cause the air to swirl. Yeah, swirl. You see?
But that can't affect the experiment. So there's no pressure.
We see it. No. It just needs just like a breeze. Yeah.
Okay, so the air is pressing against the mass, right?
Wow. Yeah. There's wind, isn't there? Right.
Oh, okay. So there's atmospheric pressure then.
No. The wind comes from the sun.
Wind comes from the sun. Do you have evidence for this?
No, I just read it somewhere. Let me double check. Let's double.
Post the experiment where sun is your independent variable for wind.
All right. Maybe not, but let's just. I thought I read something. Cause of wind.
So you just read it and just instantly believed in that? Like blindly believe in something that someone else was just writing for you, and you just buying it like a true believer?
He has no standards.
Oh my gosh! It says what is the cause of flatulence?
So post something
wind is mainly caused by a temperature difference. So whether you want to say it's the sun directly, but they like to say atmospheric pressure exists. Air moves from high to lower pressure. But again, this is begging the question here. No, you need a container.
No, begging the question. You can measure the pressure.
But they're saying mainly it's caused by the temperature. Yeah, and what causes our temperature? Involved now.
So scientific.
No, not quite.
That just see how stupid you are.
It's got something to do with the Look, we've got for kids here. I'll give you the screenshot. Wind is air in motion, produced by the uneven heating of the Earth's surface by the sun. Alright?
Air in motion is pressure.
Yeah, but it says it's caused by the sun. By the sun. What causes the wind to blow? As the sun warms the Earth, atmosphere warms to. I'm going to post this for you now so you can read.
Yep.
Yep. This is from. What I'll do is I'll give you the link. Read the actual link, then I'll post the link. I knew it had something to do with the sun, right? I just read it somewhere. This is for kids, so you get an easy breakdown. This is.
You have to go to something that's for kids, because if it's for adults, you
Stop the grooming now.
We just want a simple.
Yeah, I mean, he even reads kids' papers. I mean, Jesus.
We want it simple, a simple explanation. Okay.
Why would you take something that's more complicated that would actually explain it?
So a more complex explanation doesn't include the sun, you're saying?
No, but it will include pressure.
But not the sun, yeah?
It might include it. I haven't read it. I don't know your sources. So
I've just posted the link and the screenshot. What is wind? What causes the wind to blow?
So, Chemo, in the link that you posted, the air masses move from the high pressure over the ocean to the low over the continent. So, still, it needs a difference in pressure.
Yeah, they mean temperature.
No, they don't.
They do.
They write it as pressure. They don't write it as temperature.
But they mean temperature.
No, they don't. You mean temperature, and then they mean pressure.
No, they're confused because they think pressure...
No, you're the one who's confused because you gave us a link and you can't read something that you provided as a link and then said, but in that link they meant different things.
Yes, because they don't...
No. You can speak for yourself and they can speak for themselves. And if they write it as pressure, then it means pressure. And if you want to say that it meant temperature, then you should provide a link without pressure.
yeah, and it talks about the weight of the atmosphere.
Because, like I'm trying to say, is that they're not aware that the pressure needs a force. Now, they still think gravity is a force, so they're mistaken.
So you should provide probably a link where people think the same way that you do, and don't give us the words of someone else and saying, well, they don't fully understand, because you're not the one to choose which parts they do understand and which parts they don't understand.
Well, yes, because
I
we're the ones who...
read your picture.
What?
It says warm air which weighs less than cold air rises. So you accept that air has weight?
Like I've just said, only looking at the cause of wind, and they say it's to do with... Now, anything else we disregard because it hasn't been verified.
No, Chemo, we can't. That's the problem. You can't read like few sentences and then just get rid of all the words that you don't like and replace it with the words that you would like, and then say,
yes,
well,
you
that's the
can.
result, Chemo. It doesn't work like that. Even in the natural philosophy, it doesn't work like that.
Well, again, when we're looking at experimentation and science, cause and effect, obviously demonstrated if the sun is not there,
So, Chemo, can I ask you something as I assume you're a weather expert, so you should know that.
Go on then, let's try.
Yeah, you said, because earlier you said an interesting thing about the rain formations, that you have some clouds and